Noroc. This is the way we, Moldovans, greet each other. With this word, we wish each other good luck when we begin our journeys. Our roads always bring you to a place where you feel like home. This is Moldova, a tree that grows on a fertile land. And this is how we want to be known to the whole world. That is why the tree of life is our symbol. It represents the contemporary Moldova, but also the origins of our nation, as the tree is often crafted in our traditional carpets, included in UNESCO's patrimony. The roots symbolize the development and continuous growth. We crowned our tree with a rose, our metaphor for love and family. In the rose, we find the symbol of digital connectivity. Hope and faith are represented by the symbol of the cross. The cups celebrate the pride for our legendary wines. The fabric symbolizes the craftsmanship, including our textile industry. The screw represents the automotive and electronics sector. A symbol of our tradition, the basil is associated with protection and purity. Vegetables and fruit tell us about the diversity of orchards. The intertwined branches illustrate the infrastructure and the economic bridge between the West and the East. Finally, the M letter from the name of Moldova symbolizes the land that holds our spirit, the fertile soil on which any idea, initiative, or investment comes to life and brings harvest. In a fast-changing world, we come with a promise and an honest invitation. Be our guest and grow your business here with us.
Your Excellencies,
stimați oaspeți din Olanda și din România, prieteni din Moldova, doamnelor și domnilor. Sunt Valerian Moraru și sunt ofițerul principal pe lângă ambasada țărilor de jos din Moldova. În ultimele luni am depus toate eforturile pentru a crea o platformă de interacțiune dintre membrii comunității noastre de afaceri. Am vrut să creăm, să edificăm o cooperare lărgită, extinsă între acest mediu de afaceri, membrii mediului de afaceri. Astăzi sunt mulțumiți să vă anunț că în parteneriat cu prietenii din Moldova, de la Agenția de Investiții din Moldova, dar și Camera de Comerț a țărilor de jos din România, vreau să vă lansez prima inițiativă de parteneriat dintre Republica Moldova și țările de jos. În următoarele 2 zile vă vom invita să lucrăm împreună, să descoperim solul fertil al relațiilor comerciale dintre statele noastre. Vom demara prin o prezentare despre Republica Moldova, după care vom trece nemijlocit în declarațiile făcute de către cei din Olanda, dar și cei din Moldova și care au avut curajul să investească în țările de jos, astfel încât să fie prezent pe piața olandeză. Avem foarte mult de descoperit, de aceea este important, critic, pentru ca acești oameni să-și povestească istoria, să-i auziți și să comunicați cu aceștia. Mai târziu, ulterior, vom avea oportunitatea să discutăm cu reprezentanții guvernamentali moldavi, să înțelegem care este viziunea guvernului vis-a-vis de relația pe termen lung de dezvoltarea statului. Pe final, vă încurajez foarte mult să comunicați, să interacționați. Încercăm să creăm relații individualizate pentru a putea să îmbarcați într-un mediu de afaceri, dezvolta un mediu de afaceri și ne-ar plăcea foarte mult să vedem această interacțiune crescând în continuare. Vom încerca să dezvoltăm această platformă pe măsură ce aceasta va crește. Înainte însă de a demara, de a începe evenimentul de astăzi, vreau să învăț, să invit pe scenă ambasadorul, excelența sa, ambasadorul țărilor de jos în Republica Moldova, ambasadorul regatului țărilor de jos. Mulțumesc, Valerian. Excelență, doamnelor și domnilor, stimați participanți, îmi face o plăcere să vă văd pe toți prezenți astăzi și îmi face plăcere să fiu astăzi prezent. Fiecare zi este o zi nouă, un nou început. Astăzi demarați o nouă călătorie, dacă doriți. Câteva luni în urmă, Olanda a început o nouă inițiativă aici, prin intermediul ambasadei țărilor de jos, în Republica Moldova. Moldova este pe calea spre Europa. Se întâmplă foarte multe reforme, acordul de liber schimb. Sunt foarte multe inițiative care urmează a fi descoperite. Stau aici în fața dumneavoastră extrem de fericit și mândru să fiu gazda acestui prim forum de afaceri dintre Moldova și țările de jos. Este o plăcere deosebită să am reprezentanți din mediul de afaceri din Olanda. Știu că mulți dintre dumneavoastră ați demarat această inițiativă sau această cale luni în urmă, ani în urmă. Ați venit în Moldova ca adevărați pionieri. Dar văd că și noua generație de antreprenori din Republica Moldova se apropie tot mai mult de Olanda și invers. Știu că sunt foarte mulți din Republica Moldova, antreprenori care deja au descoperit mediul de afaceri olandez, cei care sunt nerăbdători să se antreneze în noile oportunități care sunt oferite pe măsură ce avansăm. Acest eveniment este pentru dumneavoastră, în special în calitate de participanți. Cum a spus și Valeriu, sperăm din tot sufletul să fie un eveniment de succes, să învățăm mai multe despre climatul de afaceri, dar și mâine, când veți avea ocazia să vă găsiți parteneri de afaceri în diverse domenii. Și pe final sper să deveniți și dumneavoastră ambasadori ai oportunităților de a face afaceri în Olanda, în țările de jos și în Moldova. Abia aștept să vă ascult discursurile, pentru că sper că acest eveniment va fi începutul unei căi noi pentru a crea un mediu de afaceri și oportunități de afaceri. Pe final, țara are nevoie, Moldova are nevoie de un mediu de afaceri înfloritor. Societatea are nevoie de creativitate și de asta suntem aici să vă sprijinim. Țările de jos vă sprijină în această cale. Din aceste considerente, sunt foarte mulțumit și sunt foarte mândru și vreau să mulțumesc îndeosebi lui Valeriu pentru activitatea lui, Rodică, vreau să-i mulțumesc și partenerilor noștri, Moldova Invest și alte agenția, Camera de Comerț Română a țărilor de jos. Sunt bucuros să văd că sunt atâtea parteneri care lucrează împreună. Vă urez tuturor o zi de lucru plină de succes și cu inițiative de a crea punți de afaceri. Vă mulțumesc încă o dată. Asta se va întâmpla însă mâine. Următorul orator este secretarul general al Ministerului de Dezvoltare Economice și Digitalizare, doamna Veronica Arpentin. Bine ați venit! Bine ați venit tuturor! Sunt puțin emoționată. Mi-am pregătit un text, un discurs elaborat împreună cu echipa mea. În câteva cuvinte, evenimentul este foarte important pentru noi, pentru cetățenii Republicii Moldova. Suntem foarte bucuroși că începem să dezvoltăm colaborarea cu ambasada țărilor de jos, avem ambasada deschisă nouă. Este mai mult o inițiativă de a începe să-l conlucrăm în viitorul apropiat. Vreau să mulțumesc și organizatorilor acestui eveniment, ambasada Invest Moldova și Camera de Comerț a țărilor de jos din România. Vă mulțumesc, colegi, vă mulțumesc enorm pentru că ați pus umăr la organizarea acestui eveniment. Sper că timpul investit în această călătorie vă va aduce nu doar idei noi, ci și o creștere, o dezvoltare investițiilor în venituri și în sporirea vânzărilor. Acest lucru ar trebui să ne ajute pe noi ca stat să creștem și să dezvoltăm noi tehnologii, cunoștințe, nu doar în domeniul agriculturii, pentru că deja avem o cooperare foarte bună în acest domeniu, și consultanți din Olanda care vin și ne ajută, fermierii, agricultorii noștri. Avem și sprijin enorm din partea țărilor de jos în sectorul de textile și îmbrăcăminte. Aici ne ajută nu doar să creștem, dar să dezvoltăm sectorile de plus valoare, astfel încât contribuabilii olandezi să-și valorifice finanțele. Pentru majoritatea dintre dumneavoastră este posibil prima vizită în Moldova. Nu prea văd fețe cunoscute, însă cred că vă va plăcea vizita dumneavoastră și șederea în Republica Moldova. Avem lucruri similare, am spus anterior, când este vorba de economie, creșterea acesteia, am pornit de la agricultură. Ambele state avem și un potențial enorm pentru a dezvolta alte sectoare. Și, într-adevăr, similaritățile noastre creează oportunități mari, iar aceste lucruri vin de la faptul că Moldova s-a conectat anterior cu România și Ucraina, respectiv a creat un stimulent regional și o creștere a potențialului regional. Sperăm din suflet că agresiunea în Ucraina se va finaliza de grabă, astfel încât Ucraina să se restabilească, astfel încât ambele state, și noi și Ucraina, să putem prospera în continuare. Investim în continuare în educație, în învățământ, în forța de muncă din Moldova, astfel încât să putem deveni mai competitivi. Capitalul nostru uman reprezintă valoarea adăugată pentru investitori. Anul acesta am simplificat normele, regulile pentru conlucrarea cetățenilor din statele europene și astfel încât permisele de lucru de ședere nu mai sunt necesare. Sperăm că acest lucru va crea un avantaj în plus pentru noi ca țară. La fazele incipiente ale cooperării economice și de dezvoltare, ambele matrici au două avantaje. Înțelegem că există provocări, mai în special legate de cadrul geopolitic, de șocurile consecutive, cum a fost COVID-ul, după care urma de război. Sunt și aspecte specifice legate de economie și amplasarea regională, anume vecinătatea cu Ucraina, dar sunt și provocări la care există și oportunități. Cred sincer că putem manipula situația foarte bine, astfel încât aceste oportunități să aducă venituri, să aducă dezvoltare și avantaje pentru cetățenii statelor noastre. Posibil că câți dintre dumneavoastră, apropo, au gustat din bucătăria moldovenească? Vă rog să ridicați mâinile. Cineva a încercat bucătăria tradițională? Firește, avem diferite tradiții culinare. Mie îmi place heringul cu ceapă și este un gust specific. Îmi place însă și mâncarea tradițională moldovenească, mămăliga și brânza. Dacă n-ați gustat, vă încurajez să gustați pentru că o să vă placă. Am găsit informație pe internet că, de fapt, olandezii au introdus. Noi credem aici în Moldova că ginul a fost creat de către olandezi și noi credem că Moldova a fost punctul de plecare a lansării aventurii globale, pe plan global, a statului Moldova prin vin. Cred că statele mici, națiunile mici, și în cazul nostru ambele state avem peste 200 de state. Am văzut în Amsterdam că avem mai puțină populație, avem mai puțină diversitate în limbile care se vorbesc în țară și diversitate de cultură și tradiții. Cred că creativitatea pe care o avem noi ne va ajuta să identificăm noi nișe și noi oportunități pentru dezvoltarea diferitor proiecte, proiecte de investiții, fie proiecte de promovare a exporturilor și importurilor, a bunurilor și serviciilor. De ce nu? Acest efort, această abordare creativă va naște noilor proiecte, startup-uri în digitale, în conjuncție cu diverse oportunități pentru a crea o viață mai bună pentru cetățenii Republicii Moldova, pentru cetățenii olandezi. După cum m-au auzit, sunt foarte ambițioasă. Mulțumesc celor din Moldova. Sper că vom avea o oportunitate de networking pe parcursul zilei și la fel seara. Vă încurajez, țineți minte că Moldova este un partener de încredere și că nu ne putem imagina situația în care leadership-ul din alte state să nu vină la noi și să ne dea mâna. Președinta noastră a fost cea care a sprijinit organizarea unui summit în iunie anul acesta. Știm că miracolele nu sunt ceva neobișnuit, însă putem să facem parte din crearea unei aceste oportunități și să vă implicați la maxima putere a dumneavoastră. Vă mulțumesc!
Vă mulțumesc! Următorul va fi directorul general Moldova Invest Agency, Agenție de Investiții din Moldova, domnul Ion Iordache. Vă invit pe scenă. Nice to meet you.
Doamnă secretar de stat, dragi colegi, bună ziua, mă bucur să vă salut la acest forum moldo-olandez. Eu spun că suntem două țări mici, dar cu oportunități foarte și foarte mari, care urmează să le valorificăm pe parcursul acestor 2 zile. Deși este primul forum de la deschiderea misiunii sau ambasadei aici în Republica Moldova, noi avem niște relații economice istorice. Actualmente Republica Moldova a ajuns, deci, circa 1% din tot rulajul economic este cu Olanda. Noi discutam cu domnul ambasador acum la o ceașcă de cafea și ne-am dorit ca până în iunie sau iulie, când programăm să fie un forum în Olanda, cel puțin să dublăm aceste cifre. Avem o misiune complicată. Deci, geopolitic vorbim, este un război la hotare Republicii Moldova, dar experiența sau investitorii olandezi sper foarte mult să ne ajute, în primul rând, să dezvoltăm capacitățile noastre logistice aici, să fim pregătiți pentru o eventuală reconstrucția Ucrainei. Deși avem istoric relații foarte bune pe segmentul agroindustrial, ne dorim foarte mult să încurajăm și alte industrii, deci cum ar fi electronică sau tafel, să penetrăm mai mult piața olandeză. Noi la Agenția de Investiții încă din 2021 am avut o misiune de export, care am văzut un potențial enorm, nu doar de export, dar să fim supplieri agenților economici din Olanda și de acolo împreună să putem valorifica și pe alte țări sau diversifica aceste produse. Eu sper că în aceste 2 zile agenții economici din Olanda au oportunitatea să aibă și site visit, unde dacă nu sunt răspunse la toate întrebările dumneavoastră, atunci Agenția de Investiții este gata să ofere absolut tot suportul și toate răspunsurile pentru a valorifica aceste cifre economice. Noi suntem aici cu colegii mei și respectiv să suntem pregătiți pentru a acorda răspunsuri. Eu vă doresc 2 zile pline, să colaborați și să ieșim cu foarte bune rezultate în urma acestor 2 zile. Mersi mult și vreau să mulțumesc ambasadei și Camerei de Comerț olandeză României pentru parteneriat. Mulțumesc mult!
guest and grow your business here with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we can proceed to the
Doamne, acum o să discutăm nemijlocit esența, tema principală a acestui forum și îi invităm pe oaspeții noștri de la Agenția de Investiții din Republica Moldova să vă povestească despre posibilitățile de investiții și dezvoltarea afacerii în Republica Moldova. O invit pe scenă pe doamna Ana Stamati, expert de la Agenția de Investiții din Moldova. Vă salut pe toți! Sunt fericită să vă văd din nou pe unii din dumneavoastră. Când mă gândeam de ce trebuie să vă povestesc, nu numai despre cifre, da, m-am gândit că unii din dumneavoastră sunt prezenți în Republica Moldova de mai mulți ani, alții sunt noi și pentru dumneavoastră, în dependență de experiența pe care o aveți, vor fi diferite posibilități. Dar sunteți toți bineveniți în Republica Moldova. Această prezentare va fi ca un rezumat pentru toți, fiindcă în continuare o să obțineți mai multe informații pe această temă. Din câte cunoaște, în 2022, Republica Moldova a devenit țară candidată pentru aderare la Uniunea Europeană. Pe acest slide vedeți informații de bază, care este populația Republicii Moldova. Dar aș vrea să vă atrag atenția că în Republica Moldova, între 2,5 milioane de oameni, o să găsiți oameni care vorbesc mai multe limbi. Și dumneavoastră știți cât de important este să cunoști limbile pentru ca să dezvolți afacerea ta. Vorbind despre cifre, indexul global de inovație în 2021, noi am fost pe poziția 46 și vedeți produsul brut, intern brut și rata de angajare în câmpul muncii. Nu știu dacă puteți să vedeți bine aceste informații pe slide, fiindcă eu stau în față, dar noi toți suntem conectați cu lumea din prejur. Vă încurajez să vă simțiți liber pentru ca să cereți informații. Noi suntem conectați cu 21 din țări și 44 de orașe, nu mai vorbind de chartere. Persoanele cu care noi deja am discutat, știți că noi deja am prezentat posibilitățile de colaborare cu Republica Moldova în mai multe țări între Est și Vest. Și pe ambele hotare ați dat dovadă de faptul că e bine să ne aveți și pe noi în echipă. Noi am semnat acorduri de colaborare și este bine să fiți prezenți în Republica Moldova. Acum o să vorbim despre cifrele legate de export. Vedeți că piața principală pentru Republica Moldova este Uniunea Europeană. Țările foste Uniuni Sovietice, dar noi încercăm să divizăm aceste cifre. Vedeți că România este partenerul nostru de bază când vorbim despre export. Dar vedeți că vorbind despre export, vedem aceeași situație. România este partenerul de bază pentru Republica Moldova. Și eu sunt sigur că o să dezvoltăm colaborări și cu alte țări. Acum, vorbim despre investiții. 43% de import vin din Uniunea Europeană, 3,5% din fostele țări a Uniunii Sovietice și restul din alte țări ale lumii. N-am inclus foarte multe detalii în această prezentare, fiindcă pe parcursul forumului o să mai obțineți informații. Aici vedeți logo-urile companiilor care au apărut pe piața Republicii Moldova în ultimii 5 ani. Posibil că dumneavoastră îi cunoașteți deja pe unii. Mă bucur dacă îi cunoașteți. Dacă nu îi cunoașteți, o să-i cunoașteți acum. Și dumneavoastră aveți acum șansa să apară logo-ul companiei dumneavoastră pe acest slide, pe această listă. Avem o agenție foarte bună, o agenție de guvernare electronică, care este un partener bun a Agenției de Investiții a Republicii Moldova. Ea ne ajută ca Republica Moldova să devină mai digitală și dumneavoastră vedeți că acum ei planifică să introducă electronic power. Dacă aveți semnătură digitală, o puteți folosi când dezvoltați propria afacere în Republica Moldova și să semnați contracte chiar dacă nu sunteți prezenți aici. Toate serviciile pot fi accesate online, fără ca să fiți prezenți aici. Vorbim despre costurile de operare și impozitele pe care trebuie să le achitați. Vă arăt această diagramă pentru ca să puteți compara în Republica Moldova. Vedeți ce impozite plătiți aproape 0%, dar asta depinde de industrie în care vă dezvoltați afaceri. Dacă este vorba de Ucraina, este mai scump, vorbind de asigurări sociale, valoarea adăugată. Acum vă explic. În mod normal, e 20% VAT, TVA. Și se adaugă 10% de VAT pentru produse farmaceutice, pentru gaze 6, pentru transportări internaționale 0. Dacă aceste cifre vă interesează, vă putem oferi mai multe detalii. Suntem în zona liberă economică cu cei care vor să vândă aici producția sa. Avem diferite polițe, diferite regulamente, diferite politici fiscale. Pentru cei care își dezvoltă afacerea în zona liberă economică. Salarii. Am vorbit și ieri despre salarii în Republica Moldova. Sunt salariile mici sau nu sunt atât de mici, 20-21. Am făcut un sondaj, Agenția de Investiții a Republicii Moldova a făcut acest sondaj pentru ca să vadă care este situația, ce salarii primesc oamenii în Republicii Moldova, care sunt prețurile, care sunt cifrele pentru salarii în euro. Vă oferim aceste informații pentru anii 2021-2022, dar aveți în vedere că situația se schimbă și aceste cifre tot se schimbă. Ce este legat de imobil? Vedeți cum se schimbă prețurile? În comparație cu Budapesta, cu 21% prețurile sunt mai joase decât în București, mai joase decât în Cracovia. Arenda de la 0,8%. Dar trebuie să negociați prețurile pentru arendă cu administratorii. Să ai o afacere undeva, e nu pur și simplu să ai afacere acolo, dar să știi ce se întâmplă în această țară, cât de bine te simți acolo, ce poți face acolo când ai timp liber sau când vin prietenii în ospiței. Dacă vrei să iei în arendă un apartament în orașul Chișinău, poți să-l găsești cu prețul de 253 de euro. Dacă vrei să te duci la cinema, 4-5 euro te costă biletul. Nu știu câte din oaspeți au venit cu taxiul. Sper că ați venit cu mașina de serviciu, dar dacă veniți cu taxiul, o să știți că 3, 4, 5, 6 euro trebuie să plătiți pentru taxiul în dependență de distanță. Dacă mergeți la un restaurant, pentru 2 persoane sau câteva persoane, de 20 de euro puteți mânca și servi câte un pahar de vin. În afară de asta, noi dorim să menționăm întotdeauna că este o rețea bine dezvoltată de hoteluri, de exemplu Radisson, și sperăm că asta provoacă încredere și vă sprijină, vă încurajează să investiți în Republica Moldova, să veniți aici. Veniți sectoarele strategice care există în Republica Moldova, pe care noi sau dorim să le dezvoltăm, sau dorim să le creăm. Posibil că vă aflați în unul din aceste sectoare. Vorbind acum despre domeniul de IT, trebuie să menționez că în Republica Moldova este un domeniu care are mai multe facilități, mai multe 7% este taxa unitară, care este cea mai atractivă pentru investori. Un alt lucru foarte important pe care trebuie să-l menționez este că recent a fost aprobată o lege că dacă nu vă aflați în Republica Moldova, puteți face parte a parcului digital în Republica Moldova. Dar sigur că pentru asta trebuie să vă înregistrați în Republica Moldova. Acum privim cifrele de rezidenți. Cifrele au fost actualizate. Săptămâna trecută am primit aceste date. Mai mult de 100 de rezidenți. Vedeți că parcul digital al Republicii Moldova crește. Ei lucrează mult, lucrează bine și ajută la dezvoltarea economiei și industriei Republicii Moldova. Fiindcă dacă cândva noi spuneam că avem specialiști buni în domeniul IT, dar unicul moment care era atractiv pentru investori era prețul jos, dar specialiștii noștri în domeniul IT devin tot mai buni și mai buni. O să trec peste acest slide, dacă nu aveți nimic împotrivă. Și acum o să vă povestesc despre agricultură și procesarea produselor agricole. Acest sector a fost întotdeauna reprezentativ pentru țara noastră. 2021, când domeniul IT a oferit un export mai mare pentru Republica Moldova, dar până atunci, în mod normal, anume agricultura era reprezentativă și a crescut agricultura reprezintă 44,6%, produsele agricole reprezintă 44,6% a exportului. Dacă vorbim despre produsul intern brut, 8% vin din produsele agricole, din domeniul de agricultură. Republica Moldova are un potențial foarte mare în domeniul de ferme și livezi. Dacă dumneavoastră aveți careva planuri să dezvoltați afaceri în domeniul de agricultură, puteți sta liniștit și fi sigur că în acest domeniu, da, vă puteți dezvolta afacerea în Republica Moldova. Industria de vinuri, cea mai famoasă, cea cu care noi ne mândrim. Noi vorbim nu numai despre companii mari, despre fabrici mari, dar sunt fericită să vă spun că în ultimii 4-5 ani vinăriile mici au început să devină tot mai competitive și să ofere vinuri de calitate bună, ceea ce ne face să ne mândrim. Aici vedeți prețurile. Noi înțelegem că în așa mod legenda vieții continuă să fie legenda vieții prin vinurile pe care le producem. Vedeți că avem companii care vin în Republica Moldova din 60 de țări, mai mult de 10.000 de companii străini sunt prezente în Republica Moldova. Vedeți companii care sunt prezente în Republica Moldova de mai mult timp și pe slide-ul precedent ați văzut țările care au venit recent în Republica Moldova. Știți că noi avem o poziție strategică, că suntem o țară multilingvă, o țară digitală și vom deveni tot mai digitale. În afară de asta, avem foarte multe facilități fiscale pentru diferite sectoare. Suntem atractivi și suntem avansați. De atât eu vă încurajez să veniți în Republica Moldova, să vă creșteți afacerea aici, să lăsați rădăcini aici. Aceasta este o promisiune și o invitație. Vă așteptăm și vă mulțumim.
Thank you very much, Anna. Now that we heard the proposal and the invitation of the Moldovan partners to come here, we also want to see the perspective of a global partner. With a little speech about that, I have the pleasure to invite onto the stage Mr. Alexandru Gozun, the head of PwC in Chișinău.
Hello, everyone. That's an old picture of me. And I'm delighted to stand here in front of you today, actually. Mai aproape? Dați-mi unul din ăsta, așa e mai ușor. Actually, especially since exactly 1 year ago, I was sitting in Amsterdam with my colleagues in a global event. We were discussing about the region, and I was telling them how much I hope that the investment, like this? Okay. Let me then arrange things here. That the investment attractiveness of Moldova in the eyes of Dutch companies will grow. I was hoping for that. It was 1 year ago, and I'm standing here today hoping further on that it will launch a new wave of Dutch investments into the Moldovan economy, but basically a bilateral partnership. And further on, I started to look I wanted to look a bit deeper into what the differences between the north and the southeast are actually in terms of perception of the businesses. So in Davos, we are presenting on a yearly basis, we are presenting so-called Global CEO Survey, which is covering about 5,000 CEOs in all over the world. I've discovered from this, as you can see from this slide, that we are different. We don't have Moldova, unfortunately, in the survey last year, but we have Romania, and I think from the regional standpoint, it's quite relevant. So as you can see here in Southeast, the CEOs are less optimistic about their revenue prospects and having different angles of business concerns. And I guess that's obvious that geopolitics became relevant again. I don't have that many figures as in the previous presentation, but as you can see, we do love maps. So here is the map which is showing where we are present as Moldova in terms of different alliances and economic structures in Europe. And we are talking about EU, about Schengen area, about NATO. And unfortunately, as I said, since geopolitics became relevant again and the proximity to Russia became negatively relevant these days, some regional investment trends have been impacted by these key stabilizing factors in Europe. And in the queue for investments, the shift towards the southeastern part of Europe, which happened a while ago, starts leaning back a bit to the south. Of course, for Moldova, the EU membership promise is encouraging, but the uncertainty and length of the war, ongoing war in Ukraine, is not helping either. But of course, we as businessmen, we're looking at this through the lens of opportunities embedded in our business principles and ethical values, of course. And looking at this slide, at these figures, as of March 2023, the recovery needs for the recovery and reconstruction needs for Ukraine are about $400 billion, except those which are direct damages. Now, in how many fields on the right side of the slide, Netherlands is actually excelling in terms of industries and innovation? Quite a few, if not most. And looking further on how many areas the know-how of the Dutch, both public and private sectors, would be quite relevant. And my next question is, to which extent we can together find out if Moldova could serve as a platform for Ukraine's post-war reconstruction and start building up some capabilities here, including with the inflow of Dutch investments in here. Let's just leave it sink for a moment here and move to the next slide, which is talking about Moldova and from the standpoint of high-level research or even a Google search. So these would be probably the concerns which would be presented in a simple Google search related to Moldovan business climate, right? But all of them should be taken with a pinch of salt. Because from the political stability and governance through to economic and investment environment and protection of investors' rights, there are reforms which are undertaken by Moldova. And these reforms have as focus to turn the real concerns into, groundless misconceptions. So I'm pretty sure you'll hear quite a few things today and tomorrow which will convince you on this. And if we take a quick look on the macroeconomic standing of Moldova, of course, due to the geopolitical factors, the economy is affected, and it was experiencing a slight decline and a higher inflation rate. than in the peace period, of course, before. We do expect the economy to begin to recover, and one element I'd like to put the emphasis on is the trade we have. The trade balance is negative, but if you look at the services as a part of that trade balance, you'll see that it's rather positive, which is basically showing how we can grow in the fields and opportunities which are quite coming at maximum usage of our resources and possibilities, right? So, since the trade balance in services is positive and is having that pace of growth, we are talking about a compound average growth rate of, I don't know, it's about 55% from 2020 to 2022. And if we corroborate that with the low labor force participation, it shows the potential there. So I'd like to somehow stress that there is a potential there. And if we are unpacking the services delivery sector, here is the structure of it. And as you can see, IT and business services hold the most significant weights. Right? This is what we are able to export at a growing rate year on year. Now, why that is happening is, of course, because of the business climate which we have here. And it's clear why this is helping this is helping that much the companies in IT sector and business support services. We are talking about all the key ingredients here. The proximity in both culture and distance from the European market, the multilingual population, sorry. It was a tough week last week. We have competitive operational cost and advanced infrastructure. We have openness from the governments to support business development, and as it was mentioned also before, quite a few fiscal incentives for doing business here. And this is showing actually how Moldovan companies or companies in Moldova with foreign and local investments can perform even without specific tax incentives. So I brought this example to show you how the business support, business services sector can grow without having dedicated tax incentives. Imagine what would happen if we'll have a special regime. But now, all these pluses and all these figures show that there is quite some potential there, and the sectors serviced are quite representative for the EU space. So I believe we can talk about a lot of synergy here. Of course, one of the key concerns in the business in the region, in the business community. Last week I was in Athens and was talking to my colleagues from North Macedonia and Croatia and actually all over Europe. And the concern of labor force, skilled labor force shortage was raised by everyone. Now, connecting to the previous example, we'll just mention that there are 21 higher educational institutions in Moldova, graduated by 14,000 graduates. And that's a base, that's not enough, but as Veronica mentioned, Madam Minister mentioned, we are envisaging some policies in order to support the growth of imports of, well, put it in this term, of skilled labor force to Moldova, which would compensate for that, but also would build the base for further growth. Now, talking about taxes, I won't go into the comparison of the tax levels you see here between Moldova and Netherlands. My colleagues will do that tomorrow in much more detail. I'll just give you a quick glimpse on how the AmCham community perceives the tax environment in Moldova. And on the graphs there, you are seeing the results of a survey we ran in September within the AmCham community. Just two of them. We have much more to say about that, but just two of them are showing the predictability of tax policies, and the second one is adequacy of the tax policies, tax burden level for business profitability. And as you can see, we have on both graphs, we have a neutral to positive view as prevalent. So we can see that from this point on, our member companies are considering tax policies as being very predictable, and this whole part is saying that the tax burden is neutrally or positively reflected in terms of profitability of their business. So going further, what's there for the potential Dutch investors coming in Moldova, right? I won't read through the whole slide. I'll just say that we are sharing a lot of synergies, although we are different as scale and as development of the economies, but we do share a lot of synergies between us, and we can definitely explore that. So we share synergies in the agriculture sector, of course, with the Netherlands focusing on processing, more in Moldova on agri-food, but there is clearly space for collaboration opportunities, and we see some investments already in this field in Moldova. And actually, since the Netherlands have a highly mechanized agricultural sector, employing just, 2% of the overall labor force, I think we have a lot to learn from and actually try to replicate that here with support of Dutch investments here. Now, Netherlands excels in innovation, logistics, energy, creative industries, high-tech systems, which do align with Moldova's strategic location and ICT infrastructure. And everything we've heard in the previous presentation related to investment platforms, and here, operational cost advantages, and so on, to access to markets, all of these can create synergies between our economies. Now, collaboration opportunities, of course, exist in various sectors which are represented here today by the companies visiting Moldova. And we're speaking about finance, automotive, logistics, ICT, consulting, renewable energy. I won't go in agriculture. I won't go through each one. There is a lot to say about it. And I believe that in the upcoming presentations, you'll hear much more details about that. But to me, it's no-brainer that there is a lot of potential in our cooperation. Bilateral trade, of course, I mean, exporting quality goods from Moldova, like wines, but not only, agricultural products to Netherlands, and importing from the Netherlands. Well, I tend to say all those goodies you can find in a nice store in Amsterdam, like cheese and other goods. But I'd say also importing innovation and technology. This is something we definitely should be focusing on in terms of our bilateral trade. And the last but not the least, I'd say that an argument we should be putting on our agenda for support of this bilateral business relationship development is our diaspora. We have a lot of people from Moldova in Netherlands working from PwC. I think in the past decade or so, we have at least 15 colleagues who moved to our offices in Amsterdam, Rotterdam, Hague, and so on. So there is a lot of potential to be explored there, also connecting them. So, and if you finally decided to join Moldova as an investor, you can find a really vibrant business community in Moldova. So on the slide, you can see the most representative associations in Moldova, along with a few brand new ones, like these last two, just freshly created. This doesn't have you can probably not see it because of the, but it's the National Association of the Real Estate Investors. And I'll not suggest to join any of that, leaving space for competition there. But I will just mention that I have the privilege to lead the American Chamber. So it's your call, whichever you want to join. Okay, this being said, I really want to thank you for your attention, and I do hope that the next hours and days spent here will actually lead to great results. Thanks a lot.
Be our guest and grow your business here with us.
Thank you very much, Alexandru. And in your speech, you mentioned about the synergies between the Netherlands and the Republic of Moldova. Indeed, we also agree with you. There are many, many synergies which also we think that are important to be mentioned at this business forum. And with that in mind, I have the pleasure to invite the CEO and owner of Business Boost International, former head of investment financing and economic cooperation at the Ministry of Economic Affairs of the Netherlands, Kerst Doornhof.
Thank you, Valerian. Well, it's very nice to be here to give a speech. And it doesn't happen to you very often that you are announced with a function you had 24 years ago. So, as the former head of the economic department. So, of course, when Rodica asked me to say something about the Dutch economy, I said, yeah, of course, I can say a lot about the Dutch economy. But it is quite boring, to be honest, because there will be a lot of figures on the sheets, and at the end, everybody thinks, okay, we've seen a lot of figures, but what does it really say? So I decided to say something about the Dutch economy and to show you some figures in comparison with Moldova, but then continue with saying that these figures are not sometimes the reality how an economy is going, and that in the Netherlands we also have problems with our economy. So, and that's to explain you where the opportunities are for Moldova, which could exactly match those weaknesses of the Dutch economy.
I'm sorry, I think this will be better.
That's much better.
One. Let's go.
So it's better? Okay. Okay. Should I start again, or I will continue? So I will say something about the key facts of the Dutch economy, but also the main problems we have in the Netherlands, at least from my perception, of course. How companies from Moldova can benefit of these weaknesses, and then some practical examples and practical advices for Moldova companies. Well, this is something about Business Boost, about my company. Well, we assist companies simply how to grow their exports and how to invest in emerging markets. In total, we have 12 offices in Western Europe. And our research department is in Ukraine and partially now in Moldova. Simply because of this stupid war that's going on, not all of my employees want to stay in Odessa, so that's why some of them are now living in Chisinau, and some of them are living in other parts, because at the end we all learned how to do a video conference during the Corona period. So it also brought us some advantages. So we are assisting companies, we are finding partners for them, we are finding distributors for them, we assist them with investing in emerging markets, and at the end, that's a recent development. We also established an academy simply to learn people how to grow their business themselves without a consultant. At the end, I said, okay, I have 30 years experience in doing this, and I want to share this knowledge. So that's why I established the academy. Now going to the Netherlands. Main part of the speech. Key economic facts. Comparison between the Netherlands and Moldova. Well, first you see size-wise. Quite similar. It's 80% of the Netherlands is the size of Moldova. So we are quite similar. Population. Well, that's a big difference, of course. But when you look at the capital, that's always very funny, because everybody knows Amsterdam, but nobody knows how many people live there. Well, it's the same as Chisinau, I can tell you. So, and it's not our biggest city, that's Rotterdam, but that is also still not 1 million. So we have small cities. Anna already said we have connections to 21 countries, 42 cities. In the Netherlands, we have it to 86 to 275 cities, 275 cities. GDP, okay, I don't have to say something about this. GDP per capita, well, 10 times more. GDP growth, inflation is 10%, and that is extremely high. What happened last year, because of the war, energy prices went up, and that caused an inflation in the Netherlands. Nowadays, it's 0.3% again. So we hardly have any inflation. In the Netherlands, the average life expectancy is 81 years. Then going to import and export, we are traders. You can see it. Huge export-import. And to which countries? Germany, our neighbors, our very good neighbors. Of course, we export a lot and we import a lot from Germany. Belgium, our other neighbor, same. And the very funny thing is, when you see China at the end, we import from China almost 10% of our total imports. And in Moldova, it's the same. It's also 10%. So maybe there's a strategy behind from the Chinese that it should be 10% in every country. Could be. But it is funny to see it. But this is exactly one of the points I will address that gives opportunities for Moldova. So here is the good news about the Netherlands. Also, how did we become so successful? Well, we are traders. We have a history in trade. Everybody, everywhere where you are in the world, as a Dutch person, I always recognize another Dutch person immediately. And the moment I hear him speaking English, then I know it 100% for sure, because the accent you recognize everywhere. So Dutch people are everywhere, and we are trading everything. Also negative things related to that, but I'm not going to talk about that now, but we have a history in trade already for centuries. Another important aspect is that there is a very political stability in our country, because it is coalition-based. There is always a coalition ruling our country. Well, in November we have elections. Hopefully I can tell you the same story next year. I'm not convinced about it, about the stability. But during the last 100 years, there was stability. Stability if it was left-wing, if it was right-wing. In practice, when you really look at it, the difference was not that huge. And we were lucky. we were very lucky because we had natural gas in the Netherlands. So we earned a lot of money to get the natural gas out of the ground, and we used it in a clever way because we developed our infrastructure. That's certainly an advice for every country that wants to develop your infrastructure. The highways are important. And you can see it also from the Chinese. The first thing they did when they realized we have to develop our country, infrastructure. And now you see the Chinese everywhere. Last week I was in Georgia. They are building highways over there. Why? Yeah, okay, that's another subject maybe. With a glass of Moldova wine we can discuss it. I will not address it now. But infrastructure, crucial. Innovation, also crucial. Dutch government was always very helpful, very supportive in supporting companies to innovate. We had a lot of subsidy programs, finances available for companies to do innovation, to continue with innovation. And still our economy, it is an important driver for our economy that we are innovating. Another aspect is the small and medium-sized companies. The majority of our companies are small and medium-sized companies. We have a history in that also. We have a few huge companies. Some of them are already leaving the Netherlands because they say the tax climate is going down in the Netherlands and we're going to the United Kingdom. Well, I don't know if you have to go to the United Kingdom right now, but at the end we have a very strong SME sector where more than 80% of the population is working. Those are the working force. And again, a lucky aspect, we have Germany next to us. And yeah, we are traders, and the Germans are asking for products, and we have a port, and we developed the railway, and we developed the highways, and we developed the waterways. So we are bringing everything to Germany, and we are benefiting from the Germans. Not many people can say that, of course, but we are aware of it. But then a closer look at the Dutch economy. 84% of our employment is in the service sector. It's incredible. It's only 2% still in agriculture and 14% in industry. So it's almost nothing when you look at this. But the moment you start looking at the export, 75% of our export is related to that 16%. So that's an imbalance, of course. And it is a result of what I said about innovation, about being traders. Yes, our agriculture is on a very high level. But it also has disadvantages to be on that level. I will come back to that. So the main part is industry and agriculture for the export. Now the problems. So I told you the good news, now the bad news. Look at our salaries and compare them with the figures Anna showed. It's amazing. But it doesn't mean we are happier. I don't believe we are happier. And when you look at the prices in the Netherlands, they're crazy. It was also addressed. Here you can have a dinner for 20 euros. Well, in the Netherlands, if you want to have the same dinner, it's already above 100 euros per person. It's growing very fast. Salaries this year were increased on an average with 10%. Can you imagine? 10% for a production operator is, let's say, 2,000 euros, is 200 euros in the plus. So that should be an increase in Moldova of 80%. So if a salary in Moldova grows with 10%, it's only a few percent in the Netherlands. So Moldova really has a competitive advantage with these salaries. So make use of it, because it's there. Because it's hopefully the same in 20 years, or maybe faster, maybe it takes longer. But also look at Poland. Poland, there was also a huge difference 30 years ago. And now they are on a very high level already with the salaries. Moldova can do the same. So we have a problem in the Netherlands. How to remain competitive with these kind of salaries. Next problem. We only have an unemployment rate of 3.5% at the moment. It's very difficult to find good people. Vacancies for technical personnel, 65,000 at the moment. In IT, 40,000. Growing, growing, growing. And then you see our population. Yes, becoming an average age of 81 is nice. But when everybody goes with pension, you still have to pay all those people. And they are not working anymore. So the percentage is growing, and it will grow to 25% of the whole population that will be older than 65% in 10 years' time. So that's another problem. Because we have less and less technical people in the Netherlands. And it will grow. Another problem. You can also have very long discussions about this, but these are facts. The carbon dioxide exhaust in Moldova, on purpose I included all the zeros to the kilos. In kilos, so it's 10 billion in Moldova, the exhaust of carbon dioxide. Okay, it's a lot, still a lot. But the Netherlands is 146. And you saw, the size of our countries are approximately the same. So we have 15 times more carbon dioxide exhaust as Moldova has. And the international world is changing. It's changing very fast. Because we all have to reduce our footprint. Dutch companies in 2030 are obliged to report about their carbon footprint. So we have to do something about it. And we have to do something about it now, because court decisions made that at the moment in the Netherlands we can't build houses. So we have a shortage in houses because we are not allowed to build and to increase the carbon dioxide. We have problems with the agriculture. We have an extremely well organized agricultural sector, highly innovative, producing a lot, but also carbon dioxide. These are not the only two sectors who are, of course, having the carbon dioxide, because I showed you also the figures with the airplanes and how much connections we have. Same. So we have a lot of problems, and yeah, we have to be satisfied with a smaller economy in the Netherlands. That could be a question. But we are traders. We are all over the world. So why not going to another country? To bring welfare also in other countries and not keep it in the Netherlands. So, how Moldova can benefit. Salaries. Of course, your salaries are lower. And hopefully they will be the same in future. But use the advantage now. It's not bad at the moment. Use this advantage. It's really competitive advantage. Employees. I know you also have problems with having employees because you have a lot of people leaving the country, diaspora, but blue collar people we need in the Netherlands. We don't have them. We will look in other countries. If Moldova has the right people, Dutch companies will come to Moldova. Then we have the environmental problems. Since Corona in the Netherlands, it's very general what I say, but everybody is fed up with Chinese products. When you were importing Chinese products, the 10% I showed you, container prices to bring a container from China to the Netherlands suddenly increased to 17,000 euros per container. Now it's 1,700 again. So some people earned a lot of money with these prices in containers. You can imagine there were companies having a container on the sea, the price increased, and the price bringing it to the Netherlands was higher than the value of what was in the container. You lose completely what is in the container at that moment. Also, the ports in China were suddenly closing down. So the products didn't arrive. A client of mine went bankrupt because he had his turnover, most of his turnover during Christmas. And the container didn't arrive in time. So the container arrived in January with Christmas goods. Well, good luck. You must be a good Dutch guy that is trading to sell it. In January, the Christmas articles. So that is also an advantage of Moldova. Moldova is close, but develop the infrastructure. But it's reliable. You can fly here in a few hours, and you can fly back in a few hours. You can check your things, and it's much more reliable. Well, these are some examples already of projects we are doing, have done, or we are doing at the moment. Textile production, a Dutch company, having here his embroidery, doing embroidery here, and a Mercedes van is driving up and down to the Netherlands, bringing the textiles. The embroidery is done here, and it is brought back the next week, and the new goods, so up and down. Wooden table production. It's just the joint venture has just been signed between a Dutch company and a Moldova company. They are going to produce wooden table blades here. Gardenware, metal processing sector, same. They sourced everything from China. They almost went bankrupt because of this misery. So they are fed up. They are looking for alternatives. So now they are producing here in Moldova. Isolation materials. Well, I don't have to explain you how important isolation materials are nowadays. They are going to produce here. We found a partner here in Moldova, which is really a very modern company, and that is exactly what is needed. And the smart hyperlogistics, that's the last project we're working on, also to assist in the infrastructure, in the distribution, to bring the goods in a more clever way to Western Europe. Your wine is the best wine there is, but it's still a little bit too expensive on the Dutch market because you lose too much money with the transport. That's where we are working on a solution. And last but not least, the last sentence, the Dutch government is helping us with this. They are financing feasibility studies, funding is available, export financing is available, funds, what I said, for investments are available. So, you know, the Dutch government says if you want to invest in a difficult market, still Moldova is, we will support it, because we want to support it, because we know it's important for the Dutch economy at the end. So last slide, and then I'm finished. This is simply some advices for Moldova companies. Be realistic, don't overpromise. It's logical, it sounds logical, but unfortunately it's not done. I have examples that quotations were asked from Moldova companies, and at the end they called to the Dutch company, they asked what their market price was, and then they said, okay, then we will sell it for 60% of their market price. Yeah, that's not the right way. You must do a cost calculation, of course, and be open. Open calculations works perfectly, because everybody has to earn money. Long term, don't think in short term. Corporate social accountability, a very difficult subject, but at the end it's not difficult at all. And find foreign partners for selling your products. If you have a good product, there is a market, but find partners for it. Thank you. So if you want to see the presentation in more detail, you can make a picture of the QR code, and then you can download it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kirst. I think it was very, very interesting to this all facts, and especially the fact that you are working in this field in Moldova and you are promoting to some extent Moldova amongst Dutch entrepreneurs. Right now I want to also introduce you to a person who will help us explore the export affinities between Moldova and the Netherlands, and particularly designed for Moldovan exporters. I want to welcome Andrei Crigan from partner at Gateway and Partners.
Thank you, Valerian. Thank you, and thank you for this opportunity to join the forum today. My name is Andrei Crigan, and I represent Gateway and Partners, a consulting company. It's also a pleasure to follow after Mr. Kurt, and just to complement maybe from another perspective, our forum today also to make it interesting because it's a Netherlands-Moldova, also for the Moldovan counterparts, but maybe look for some differences and maybe things that are common for our countries. So I will try to cover fast the export affinities, opportunities for Moldovan exporters in Netherlands, but also some cultural things that we teach the Moldovan exporters and exporters from other countries that were present when they're going to some markets, and maybe that helps them to build the relationships faster and move on to the business in a better way. So I entitled my presentation as Netherlands, the Gateway to Europe, which is indeed a gateway to Europe. It has the biggest port. So just briefly about Gateway and Partners, since we are present also in Moldova, but also in other 10 countries. We are #1 company in this area, helping companies to find new clients, to grow their exports. We have 10 worldwide offices. The recent one is in Brazil, 30+ employees. We speak 15 different languages, the most common languages in business. Our people are multilingual. We have also colleagues from 10 different nationalities that help us reach better, connect from mentality with potential partners of Moldovan producers, exporters. And we have an experience of 18 years already. For 6 years we are present in Moldova and Romania, and this helps us to share and add value to the Moldovan exporters. Also, one of our key advantages is that we have our own database with 70,000+ contacts that we have developed within our projects. So why Netherlands for Moldovan exporters, for those who are also present here today, and we will also uncover this topic within the next discussion panel with the representatives of the business environment from Moldova, with the exporters with success stories there. So basically, there are some topics. So Netherlands is a big importer, is the 10th world importer in terms of our buyer, let's say, so of products. The Netherlands economic freedom score is 78, so it's very easy to do business in Netherlands. Actually, the Netherlands are the key foreign investment comes from the Netherlands. It's also not just the Dutch companies, but also some other companies decide to use this gateway to enter also Moldovan market. Basically, as a good position on EU innovation scoreboard and some other stuff, some openness to global trade, which was mentioned already as best traders probably. As we know, the previous successive economic shocks were smoothly passed by the Dutch economy. Advantage in transport infrastructure, everything comes from the Netherlands, and the gateway to Europe, as we entitled. So maybe some interesting things for Moldovan exporters. What are the import positions in the Netherlands that are growing? So waste and scrap of precious metals, or of metal clad with precious metals, so it's a big thing. I see 70% growth. Rape or colza seeds, 50% growth. Rye, and vacuum cleaners. Here's some electronics, hygienic or pharmaceutical articles. Hygienic articles again. Sunflower seeds, sunflower cotton seed oil. The oil is also a key product that we export to the Netherlands from Moldova. And whether or not broken. And some articles of equipment for general physical exercise, gymnastic, athletics, 18%. So these are the opportunities. So again, very fast, the comparison already has been done. between Netherlands and Moldova. So the population, 17 million, has a huge potential for Moldovan producers and exporters. The GDP, we see also from another side, there's a big gap between Moldova and Netherlands, but it's also a huge opportunity for common businesses, to exploit this difference in development, because Moldova will go to reach these heights, but with help of foreign investors, this will be done easier. And also the GDP was already covered, also some ratings, AAA for Netherlands and B3 for Moldova. Yes, the CPI is also an important 3% in Netherlands and almost 10% in Moldova. We have felt this inflation shock very profound last year, but this year we are recovering from this one, and the inflation is decreasing. Okay, so the key products that Netherlands are importing from the world, top 20 products are on this graph. But Moldova is an export partner for 10 out of these top 20 categories. It's still a small amount, summing up to $5.6 million US. It's very small, but there's a huge potential to increase this one. And for example, some positions would be electrical transformers, static conveyors, rectifiers, and inductors, as well as instruments of appliances used in medical, surgical, dental, or veterinary sciences. So now it's around $4 million US. But there's a huge potential also for investment, but also for trade in this respect. So top countries of imports for Netherlands, so Germany, Belgium, China, United States, and United Kingdom are the top 5 partners for Netherlands. And Moldova is just on the 119th position in this respect, so the imports are around $60.8 million US. So that's what we export to the Netherlands. So a huge potential to increase these numbers. Although compared to the 5 years ago, Moldova moved up in the rankings by 5 levels. Not much, but still it's a progress for us. So no perfection, but progress. Moving slowly to increase those numbers. So regionally, just to see where the closest neighbors of the Netherlands are in this respect. So Germany, Belgium, United Kingdom, Norway, France, Sweden, Denmark, Luxembourg. So in top 60 import partners for Netherlands. This is probably, who might say we compete, but probably that's more like in commas, this competition, because we are very small. Okay, so the second thing that I want to touch is Moldovan products in the Netherlands. And we have some statistics for top 20 Moldovan products imported by the Netherlands, sum up to almost $60 million US in 2022. So we have 8 positions of agricultural products. This is the main and key position. You can see here also the details about this. So around $34 million US in these 8 positions. 6 industrial positions, so non-food products also present here. 4 positions in TAFL, so textile, apparel, footwear, and leather. Around 10 million, and 2 furniture positions, around 7 million of exports. So these are the big categories, and details are here. I think that all of our presentations will also be available, so we can not go very deep into details. So Moldovan products in Netherlands, 33%, the highest share is for sunflower seed, sunflower cottonseed oil. So the oil is the main export product. So far it also has been a star, but considering the fact that it's a resource, I think we should think about processing more that and see what business opportunities we can have. So in 2022, for the first time, the Netherlands imported from Moldova some products, cereal grains, lenses, electric heated gas, plywood, industrial and electric furnaces, articles of stone, footwear, woven fabric of cotton, electric shavers. So just for the first time in 2022. And the products from Moldova that showed the highest export growth were prefabricated buildings. We will also discuss about this category in our, we have a representative of that business here on the panel. And the next one, aldehydes, harvesting of trees and machinery, electronic integrated circuits, electrical apparatus, oil seeds, insecticides, and boards. And so you can see also the numbers from 159 growth, but it's because we have a small base to grow. So this is why we have these big rates so far. So what potential does Moldova have in the Netherlands? These are the top 20 export position of Moldova. As you can see also by the value of exports, annual growth, The green lines, and this is the import position also for the Netherlands, just to compare. So basically the green lines are where we are growing exports, so it's a potential there, but also Netherlands is growing as imports. Yeah? So there's business potential in this respect. The white ones are either we are going down, either Netherlands is decreasing its imports of these products, but still there's a potential in this respect because our numbers are way much smaller than the ones of Netherlands. So our share in the trade with Netherlands is really small so far. So we are not even in the top 100 partners, but there's a huge potential in this one. So top 5 products, sunflower seed oil, maize or corn, carboys, bottle flags, jars, pots, ethyl alcohol, and rape or colza seeds. These are the top 5 products with highest potential to be exported in the Netherlands so far, as we can see from the statistics. From the perspective of the top 20 food products, so mainly our exports are food products, almost 55%. So the sunflower seed oil already mentioned, nuts are here also with 4.3 million. The wine, we'll also discuss about that in the next discussion panel, its potential. Sunflower seeds, we have the juices and vegetable juices. Canned products, we have also again some fruits, we have maize or corn, but very small numbers, already under 1 million. So natural honey could be a good product. Cherries, peaches, we will also discuss about the fruits in the next panel, so with our entrepreneurs. So non-food, top 20% are around a little bit more than 40%. And these are seats, whether or not convertible into beds, some parts of furniture, garments. We have electrical transformers, static converters, we have tracksuits, ski suits, swimwear, another TUFL product. We have synthetic filament yarn, so over 1 million, 2 million. Prefabricated buildings, close to $1 million US, we'll discuss this one. In the panel, furniture and parts thereof, cigarette paper, brooms, brushes, including brush acoustic parts of machines. And some printed circuits also, with a small amount, but some potential in this respect we have. So a little bit about the customer profile for the Moldovan companies, so that we understand what are the opportunities in the Netherlands. We gathered some data about customers there, so here's the population. Mostly lives in urban areas compared to Moldova, which is more rural. So basically, you have to go into rural areas to establish the companies also. So here are the statistics about the age. Categories, average gross salary, over 4,000 euros. Our colleague has showed already also by different positions the salary differences, but there's a huge potential for Moldovan exporters from the power purchasing perspective. Also the minimum salary is high. And the biggest cities, top 10 cities with 3.7 million inhabitants, obviously Amsterdam and Rotterdam are the biggest cities to do business with, but also other top 10 cities are on the map here. So a little bit about the customers. Population growth in the Netherlands due to an increased immigration, particularly from Ukraine. This is a trend that we see due to the war in Ukraine, due to Russian aggression there. And some immigrants from Asia and Eastern Europe. The Netherlands saw a generational shift in 2022, so with baby boomers being the largest group, so there's potential in this respect, but also millennials and generations that are becoming prominent in the consumer shaping preferences. Single person or child-free households. This is a general trend in the biggest cities in Europe. So basically, when we do packages, when we think about consumers, we don't think about big families, but we think about this one-person household. So we should consider that as well. Consumers in the Netherlands are seeking ways to manage their budgets amidst inflation, rising costs. So we should pay attention also at the cost of the products. So export is always a fair price, big quantities. The COVID-19 also impacted the customer journey across different verticals, so such as groceries, personal care, clothing, and home. Google Trends and rising retail categories also should be looked for. Dutch consumers know what they want, and they want to be heard also, so very requesting. And loyalty and advocacy in the Netherlands. personalization is very, very important. As we have seen, one-person household dictates that also. So some other things related to customer profile in Netherlands, but also things that are different in Moldova. I will skip this. The structure of consumption. It's here in a Dutch family spends most of the money on housing, water, electricity, 24%. Miscellaneous goods and services, 15%. Food, beverages, and tobacco, 11%. Transport, 11%. Recreation and culture, almost 10%. Restaurants and hotels, 6%. Furnishing, household, equipment and routine maintenance, 5.8%. Clothing and footwear, almost 5%. Health, communication and education, under 5%. Okay, a little bit about the sales channels in the Netherlands. So these are the biggest top retailers, but before we reach those, we also need an importer, maybe a distributor, another partner. So Ahold, Delhaize and Jumbo, the biggest retailers in the Netherlands, local players, also followed by Lidl and Aldi, the German retailers, Blokker Holding, IKEA, Action, Hema, MediaMarkt and Zalando, the top 10 retailers. We can see also the type of retail they are selling for a number of stores and the turnover in billion euros in 2022. Also related to the retail market, it's a big pie, 140 billion. Other stuff, I will skip that. But I would like to stop at, so top 15 consumer product distribution companies in Netherlands. This is the first chain that usually the exporters would enter. Here we have prepared a 15 companies top from different industries. Here are the locations and sales revenues here. This will also be available to the participants. And I would like to touch in the end about a little bit the Dutch as business partners and maybe some similarities and differences between us and between Moldovans and the Dutch partners. So it will be also interesting to discuss also the experience of our colleagues in the panel discussion, how they found Dutch. So the Netherlands is renowned for its culture of openness and equality, which is also reflected in the business practice. Dutch business culture highly values directness, honesty and efficiency, and hierarchical structures are subtly present in most workplaces. Business relationships are forged on the foundation of mutual respect and trust, with a strong emphasis on achieving tangible results, so very result-oriented. Punctuality is a fundamental aspect of Dutch etiquette, with meetings and appointments expected to start promptly. So also this forum moves by the time as it sets in the agenda. We can see the Dutch involvement in this one. Also some other, regarding the greetings, this is what we would usually teach the Moldovan exporters before going to the Netherlands. So in business settings, the customary greeting involves a concise and firm handshake. This is also what Moldovans prefer, accompanied by meaningful eye contact. Appropriate that varies depending on the specific job and industry. It's more official in the offices, but also it's open for in the startups area. It's also the business casual or casual, depends. So from the communication perspective, the Dutch companies tend to be direct and straightforward, which can sometimes be perceived as blunt and harsh. This directness is not intended to be unkind, but is, again, rather result-oriented. The Dutch preferences for pragmatic and clear communication is to be mentioned. Effective business communication in the Netherlands entails being clear, precise, and delivering well-structured faculty support presentations. So basically, this is what we are also doing today. Expect analytical questions. This is a reminder for the Moldovan counterparts to be prepared to provide detailed information, as Dutch professionals value accuracy. It's important also to avoid making commitments, and that was also mentioned in the previous presentation, what we can and what we cannot do, not overpromise. Though some trainers would teach overpromise and try to deliver, it's better not to do that because we might lose trust. And the dress code, again, it's more official today, but also it's available for many industries already on the factories, casual and non-official. So about punctuality, so it's a must. It's a big thing. In many business environments, the workplace culture can be more formal. Appointments are typically scheduled well in advance and preferably documented in writing, and punctuality is highly regarded. So gift-giving, Dutch individuals generally prefer not to feel obligated in matters of gift-giving. in line with their equitable approach to various aspects of life. They typically do not anticipate giving or receiving any gifts. On the other side, Moldovans, just to prepare also for what to expect maybe, the classic etui is a standard and widely adopted by business people and officials. Though these days already we can see also the business casual style. Handshake holds greater significance compared to Western customs, though it's a common thing also with the Netherlands partners. Communication generally warm and welcoming with no apparent taboos. So maybe not that direct from the very beginning, but still more into people. Recommendations and personal connections are highly valued in Moldova, and as a service provider you may be persistently asked for discounts as well. Most older business people speak Romanian and Russian, but the younger individuals are also proficient in English. Most of exporters have someone that speaks English in their company and are able to connect. Issues with Moldovan partners are best discussed privately. Building relationships in Moldovan partners is crucial as decisions are often made outside the immediate office environment. So accepting invitation to social events, coffee breaks, lunches is important. Maintain direct eye. This is also what the Netherlands partners prefer when speaking with Moldovan partners. And check your company's policy before offering gifts. Also, it's a must in Moldova, but not that high importance. So we have prepared also some Dutch exhibition portals for Moldovan companies, but I will skip that. This will be available. So thank you for your time. I will also leave my contacts here, and in case of any questions, I will be available for the B2Bs later on to discuss any issues, and we'll have also a discussion with our colleagues from the Netherlands. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Krigan, for your indeed very detailed presentation. I think that, yeah, it's going to be very useful for the participants of this forum. Yes, I wanted to introduce the next discussion that we will have, because Mr. Krigan already mentioned the export of houses, which was really a discovery for us, to be honest, when we saw that there is this type of economic activity linking the Kingdom of the Netherlands and the Republic of Moldova. But before that, I want to communicate a message from our embassy. Everybody that's here from the Netherlands, we are your reference here in Moldova. And if you have any questions, if at certain point you want to meet with somebody, if you want to speak with an association, if you're interested to find and learn more about the Moldovan market, please be aware that our embassy is the contact point for you at any single time, and we will be willing to support you with all the necessary logistical, but also, as far as we can, consulting arrangements. So in our embassy, you should also see a partner that will support you in any single situation with what we can. About the next panel, I am very happy to invite people courageous enough to do business with the Netherlands, Moldovans that opened businesses, sold their products, and managed it. Please, I welcome on the stage Constantin Sharkov, CEO and founder of Pico Creative, Mariana Păslaru, CEO at Staragro Group SRL, Anatol Malancea, CEO and co-founder at Unica Wall Systems. This is the housing. And Dina Păslaru, Marketing and Sales Director at Sălcuța Winery. This panel was moderated by our previous speaker, Mr. Krigan. You have the stage.
Thank you, Valerian. Again, this is a more interesting part for me. I'm very also interested in your stories, dear panelists, dear speakers. And we say thank you for your time and for your courage, as Valerian said, to share experience, because not always business people are open to share a bit of knowledge from some markets, but we're very delighted that you are here and appreciate your involvement. So I would start, maybe we'll make it in an interview style. So we have around 40 minutes, around 10 minutes per each speaker, but I would like more to interview you. So the first question will be, when did you start your business in Netherlands? How many years do you have, and what is your product? So I will start maybe with the ladies. Maybe Mariana, you would like to start to break the ice. Probably you are with the freshest experience in Netherlands, as I suppose. But let us see.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mariana. We are more than 20 years in business agriculture, and for 12 years we invest in cherries, cherry orchards. Also, we are one of the biggest cherry companies in Moldova. For me, cherries is one of the beautiful fruits. At the same time, it's one of the dangerous. That's why I'm looking for a very good and no dangerous partners, business partners, because cherries is a very fragile. At the beginning, we exported for Russian market, Ukrainian, and the Belarus market. And after what happened in our world after beginning of the war, also our problems became very big of logistic problems we have. But my dream was also to explore the Europe. To explore the Europe, but we haven't ready for this. Thanks to USAID and Moldova Fruit Association, that they work a lot with us and developed a lot of markets, a lot of exhibition, show us also new people, new places for export. And in such way, I met my new partners from Netherlands, and my pleasure it was that they found me.
Okay, very interesting.
That was very interesting. 4 years ago, they came to Moldova and looking for cherry partners for Netherlands.
So first touch 4 years ago, and you started, for how many years you are already exporting stably, let's say,
we
to
became
Netherlands?
our collaboration 3 years ago. And the first export I made 2 years ago. And this year I bought a cherry sorting line, the first also in Moldova. And at the moment we exported 50% of our produce to Europe.
Okay, in Netherlands is how much? Is top market for you, or it's one of the top markets?
Now I collaborate with one of the biggest agro hub from Netherlands. I was a guest. They invited me to saw this agro hub, and really I am satisfied with this collaboration.
Is on what position from the European markets for your product?
Yeah, in the future.
Is the first one, or in EU? How many markets do you have?
Now I collaborate
only Netherlands?
No with markets, only of agro hub.
Okay, so
Yeah,
Netherlands
and
is
after
the key market
maybe
for you.
they sold to other markets.
Okay, and so half of your product goes to Netherlands?
Yes, half of my products. I have 50 hectares. You understand how many percent we go to.
Was it easy to establish contact with the partners from the Netherlands? I mean, since they came to you intentionally after you, was it easier to build a relationship with them?
It was easy to have a contact, but it's very difficult to stay on the same level.
What makes it difficult for you?
Yeah, it's difficult because we need to have the same standard of quality.
The issue of standards.
Yeah, the highest standards. We have all the certificate that's necessary for export. Every time I have the results of residuum from the Netherlands. They give me the results. it's difficult. It's very
So
difficult, but
it's
it's a pleasure.
always learning with the Dutch partners, yes?
Yes, but I have a pleasure to work with Netherlands because it's very concrete. They know what they want, and I know also what I need to do.
Okay, so
it's
what
very
they
easy
say
to
is what
work
they
in
do,
such way.
and it's easier for you as well to
Yeah.
go this way. Okay, thank you. We will come back with some lessons learned maybe a little bit later, but I would like to ask Dina, that represents Dina Poslaru from Salcuța Winery, represents the wine sector. Dina, as far as I know, Salcuța Winery is the leader of exports, of wine exports in Netherlands.
Yes,
How were you able to reach that height from all the wineries in Moldova?
So first, I would like to say that wine is also an agricultural product. So we kind of have a similar history. After the 2013 embargo, we had to completely shift our vision in terms of quality standards, in terms of our new key target markets. So our vision was obviously to start our investments at the winery in all the production facilities. That was the first step. Second step was an individual strategy, I would say. Me, together with my father, we really wanted to enter markets that other wine producers have not yet discovered at that time. So
Netherlands was one of those markets that you've targeted?
Yes, Netherlands was one of those markets.
Why Netherlands? How did you pick it up? What was the why for you?
First of all, where we met, it was at, because we attended several wine trade shows, such as the Amsterdam Bulk Fair and also the ProWein in Düsseldorf. So that's where we met with them. At that time, we were already working with UK and Germany on the bulk side. So I guess the people that our partners of today, they already kind of maybe heard about us already. So we met there, that was 2018, so 5 years ago.
5 years ago, okay.
Yeah. So that's where we met, and as of today, we actually have two partners. One partner is on the on-trade sector, so mainly hotels, restaurants, and the small specialized shops, and the other partner is on the off-trade sector, which gave us the possibility to now be present in 7 retail chains and over 1,000 selling points.
Okay, thank you, Dina. We'll come back to you a little bit later. I would like to ask now Konstantin Sharkov to make a little bit switch from the physical products, and then we'll go to Anatol. Services. We have seen from previous presentations that services is a big thing for Netherlands, and it seems like you are exactly in the right spot. What was your story? How many years? How did you start your quest with Netherlands, Dutch partners?
Thank you, Andrei, for this dramatic intro. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. So, we opened Pico 5 years ago in the Netherlands. But a few words, what is Pico? So we don't export physical product. We export brains, but actually we are in a situation where
a product of brains.
Yeah.
I hope you don't export
not
brains.
Physical brains.
We have already a big brain.
But
brain
right
drain.
now we're actually also importing brains from the Netherlands.
Very good. Okay.
Because the Netherlands exported a lot of stuff, but they also exported intellectual products such as typefaces or a lot of knowledge. So yeah, we opened there. Why? First of all, we are a branding, a communication agency. And in terms of creative sector, Netherlands is one of the most advanced countries in the world. Their studios such as like Tonic or Studio Dumbar are right now in the top of
so you are working you are working B2B, of course, but are you working for the final client, or are you working with a Dutch partner for a final client?
The funny thing is that we opened the office there, and we thought that we will start right now to work with Dutch clients. But such as the truth was we opened the office, and a little by little, the clients started to more Dutch clients from here, Or, for example, Swiss companies or German companies started to see us on expos or events, such as Dutch Design Week, where we had 2 installations last year. So right now it's not more about doing business, because business is going well. It's more like learning from the Netherlands, learning from their industry, learning from their creative associations, Art Directors Club, where we are members, and also helping our partners, such as Dutch Embassy, resolving creative problems, and not only. At this moment...
How did you take the decision to open the company there? I mean, that's bold.
Well, Moldova is a small country with big heart, so we wanted
but Netherlands
a little bit
far away.
We wanted a little bit the next step, because we are already 16 years in the business. And in Moldova, it's pretty easy to become someone.
Is your first and only export market the Netherlands? Or?
No. Of course, Romania is one of the most important one, and till 2018, Russia, some of these countries were also on the list.
Netherlands is on top, or is one of the priority markets for you?
It's one of the priority markets right now. It's like 20%, but it's very mixed, because imagine that we are having clients. We're having clients like they have office in the Netherlands, they have an office in LA, and they have an office in Switzerland. I don't know if it's like exporting to the Netherlands, or another example.
So it's basically also your gateway to other European countries.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And I would like to have some questions also for Anatol. Anatol, what was your story? You also have an interesting story. And since Mariana told about intentional export from the Dutch side, Dina, I think you went after the Dutch partners. Konstantin, you are on your own as well, hunting after Dutch partners, yeah? Anatol, what's your story? Well, how many years are you in the business with Dutch people?
First of all, thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Ambassador. Thank you for organizing this great event. I wish it was even 10 years ago, but great, you managed to do it now. So I'm grateful. Our story goes actually 20 years ago with some...
You're the champion here on the panel.
Well, it started actually with almost like more charitable events. Business people were coming from Netherlands, as they have generous hearts usually, and they were helping orphanages and so on. And I was just translating, then became on the board, and we became friends. So out of that friendships, both sides being entrepreneurial, we look at various opportunities. And we saw a need, especially in the Netherlands. Even today, there is a need of 300,000 houses per year, a deficit in the housing market. And in those years, our Dutch friends saw great potential in Moldovan highly skilled labor, but also a great opportunity to develop the economy. So we started with a pretty crazy idea. Well, why do we send the labor to the Netherlands? Why don't we export actually the houses? So, okay, thank you for showing.
We can see also on the screen some results.
Not so much for advertising, but it's really for you to understand, because when we tell about sending houses, I think that, or prefab, it's actually, normally it's an erroneous idea. So, all of
houses
these houses
and water, we can see.
Well, Dutch people have been friends with water for a long time. And with this deficit, we saw, well, why don't we are creative and bring a solution even on building on water? So as you see, these houses, all of these have been in Moldova, made in Moldova in our factory in Stefanvode, shipped over 5 days to the Netherlands and built on site within 4 to 5 days. It became almost like a little business card for our Dutch market. We just finished a residential community of 27 homes, all of them high-end, very modern, and but we also built various type of buildings, even multi-level vacation homes. We also built here in Moldova. But again, the story goes 7 years ago. We started really with an adventurous idea in mind. How do we build houses both here and in Europe, and then Netherlands became our key market, mainly because of the need, but also trustful relationships, and we export about 70% now from Moldova to Dutch alone.
And 30% is the local market. You are using the Dutch know-how?
Yes.
To build the houses here.
We patented our technology in the Netherlands, but we used a lot of expertise, innovation to bring what is good also from Netherlands to Moldova. So we build quite a lot here, also even shipped houses even to Ukraine, Germany, Romania, different countries. But I think the strength of our partnership is in just a very intentional, very intense collaboration, sending our people there, bringing even engineers, partners here. We had even a Dutch young engineer for 2 years, trying to bring Dutch efficiency in our factory. He also learned a lot, and he just loved the experience until he got married and he went back home. But we had a very good, fruitful relationship of very intense relationship going back and forth. At almost any given point in time, we have our Moldovan colleagues in the Netherlands, and very often we have Dutch people coming here, and that's really one of the strengths.
Thank you. Thank you, Natal. I would like to continue with the next question related to your why. If you would explain, and maybe I will come back to Mariana, to Moldovan entrepreneurs, Moldovan exporters, why is Netherlands an important destination? How would you explain that to them? Maybe from the fruit sector, maybe to you, or maybe other sectors if you see potential through your relationship that you are developing with Dutch partners.
Yeah, first of all, why Netherlands? Because it's more north country. It's a little they hadn't a lot of orchards in north countries. Maybe that's why first, because in Italy, in Spain, in Serbia, it's very difficult for us because they have their orchards. Cherries orchards. They also export to Netherlands, and for us it's very difficult to go to Italy or to Serbia. Why Netherlands and also UK? Also exported to UK. Maybe Netherlands. It was for me first European love and business.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my explication.
What made you love them?
Yeah.
The Dutch business people.
In the future, who knows?
The culture, what worked for you? Or the thing that you could learn with them? Was this the thing? I mean, for your business to become better, if I understand correctly?
Yeah, sure. My business now, it's better and more stable. It's more classic. I'm not afraid for the future. I am not afraid for embargo or logistic
So predictability and business stability is very important.
I have some percent of stability in my brain.
And no political issue,
I'm sleeping more
if,
after business of Netherlands.
Okay, so only business, nothing else. Stability and predictability.
Yeah, stability.
Thank you, Mariana. Dina, what's your why? Why for other wineries maybe? Is there more potential, or that's most of what we could
Definitely there is more potential. We want to see our colleagues also enter the Netherlands because we believe in a healthy competition. And we also support the evolution of the country brand Wine of Moldova. So we want to see that, and we are always actually open in terms of telling the people how is our experience in the Netherlands. In my personal opinion, I like this cultural aspect that they're very straightforward, they're very direct, they believe...
That's not bothering you?
It's not bothering me, of course. We do, because I mean, you also discussed we have a lot of similarities, but also maybe some differences. For example, Moldovans, we're more open, more warm, we're more open to propose, I don't know, a dinner, or we're open to give maybe a gift or something that
and
a Dutch
how were the
person
Dutch
would
partners?
not.
Because that was the next question about the culture.
Yeah, well...
Were they open? Were they okay? Didn't they felt...
At first, no. At first, no. Even our results, like the our export values, our financial results show that it took us 5 years of consistent talking. We did, I think, over 50 visits to Netherlands in this past 5 years.
50 visits, okay.
Although
10 per year.
They still never came to Moldova yet. We're waiting for them. Every time we keep inviting them. So, but at the same time, what I noticed is that in time, once they see that together we can have a fruitful collaboration, they become like more open and more, kind, and also in our experience, the relationship already became more personal. So I'm happy to see that. But also what I like about the Dutch market is that it's obviously also a country of hardworking people. It's an innovative market, and in our product category, when you see a global trend in the wine industry, you see it directly in Netherlands. And this is, we work based on that. So it's a plus to see that our work, our wine that we do is accepted by like-minded people. So definitely it's an emerging market, and we look forward to see what opportunities we can develop further. Yeah.
Thank you. Konstantin, what's your why? Why did you want to open a company in Netherlands? What made you think it will work? Or did you have other options?
We actually wanted to do it in Germany, but after started to see the papers and the situation on the site, we thought, okay, Netherlands is open. The big major clients or agencies are and they are really open and international, so the English is everywhere.
Who helped you understand that? Did you do that on your own? Did you have advisors, consultants?
It was about one of our clients who said, look, let's try Amsterdam, let's try Hague, let's try Rotterdam, because usually, and it was a reality, Netherlands is more open for that. It's a very international company. So, for example, from 10 Dutch clients, I think 8 are expats, like they are not Dutch people. So it's very international, diverse business ecosystem. And we really love to experiment. Such directions as e-health. I didn't know about e-health. I didn't know that health can be technological. And we found out the infrastructure of startups is huge. And the level of business, the level of, I like also that they are really, really direct. Like on the.
So you also appreciate this directness?
Yeah, I think that's cool.
Or you loved it in the process or from the very beginning?
From the beginning. Also, they can negotiate really, really good. So that's a thing we need to learn.
Okay. What would be your pitch to the companies from the creative industry in Moldova? Do you know other companies that are also present in Netherlands, have offices maybe, or they are still looking at Netherlands and being afraid?
Anyone from our but my pitch is not really to look for the clients, but go there and learn.
Okay, so going to see the culture, to learn from the best, yeah?
Do research because it's one of the most advanced creative.
Okay, thank you. Anatol, you have started from the building relationships on this non-for-profit. Then you went into business. Would that be the way for other entrepreneurs, or was just your case? How would you mention it?
Yeah, well, actually, we were on each side. We were both entrepreneurs, but we had that in common, an interest to help, and actually, that's prevalent even today. So it's just, I think, established a great level of trust. I think we got to know each other, even spending vacations together. But our relationship now, it goes much more beyond that just trust. I think we see a lot of development. And to answer the big why, well, there is a need on both sides. There is mutual benefit, economic benefit. But what I like a lot in this adventure that we are in, I like the genuine desire to see more than money, to see the social impact in Moldova, to see jobs created, to see more babies being born of our employees, better cars, and even families staying together. But also I like the innovation part that is going both ways. We are now developing even an architectural branch of our company to provide architectural services from Moldova.
In Moldova? In Moldova?
Yeah, Moldovan architectures. Well, there is a shortage not only in the Netherlands, all over the world in good talent, and Moldova has it. So in our experience, now we're expanding in other directions, including
So the services industries you are going, okay?
We also see the opportunity to develop even a residential sector here, to develop small communities, even with a Dutch flavor of, let's say, design, innovation, energy efficiency, sustainability.
Is that possible in Stefan Voda, or you are building that in Chișinău?
We have built a number of houses, over 20 projects in Moldova already, but now we are in talks even with municipality, with the government, to bring that sustainability, energy efficiency, and the highest level of standards in construction industry, not only in the Netherlands, but actually Moldova. So we are speaking with the mayor, Stefan Voda. We have some projects here in the surrounding areas of Chișinău to really bring a new lifestyle, a new way of living that is sustainable and also very appealing, especially to people who want to stay in Moldova. So I like the idea that, and what attracts me, it gives me here, my colleagues, is actually a bigger cause. It's a greater vision than just making money or just looking at a cost saving being in Moldova. So generally we look at, okay, how can we make not only the company, but even replicate a model of Unica in other industries in Moldova. Even this afternoon and then next week we have other investors, even an investment fund from Netherlands coming to Moldova, explore opportunities. So I think we broke the ice. We got some good track record, and again, I'm super happy to see this just continuing.
Okay, the Dutch wave in Moldova.
Sorry?
The Dutch wave in Moldova, if we can call it this way. Okay, I would like to continue maybe with some lessons learned by you in the businesses that you have. 1 or 2, 3 that you would like to mention. Things that you maybe failed or learned from your experience. Mariana, maybe you can share something that maybe didn't went well from the very beginning because you didn't know some specifics and then you corrected it. Or what would be the message to others who would like to start and maybe they should do it correctly? And totally, absolutely, they will fail at some point, but maybe listening to your advice to all of you, they could maybe avoid that.
First of all, I want to say that my business partner from Netherlands visited Moldova a lot of time.
And probably have seen also other producers.
Yes, yes, and we are also friends. They are they are welcome to Moldova every time, every year, not only in cherry seasons. And I hope that in future a lot of other producers found their buyers from Netherlands. And my advice is to respect the contract, to respect the all engagement. And after that, all will be okay in their business. And I hope a lot of young producers also will go to Netherlands, to Europe, and begin a new page in their business.
Okay, thank you. Dina, what lessons learned would you like to share from the wine perspective?
First of all, we talked that the Dutch people like to be very, they're based on facts most of the time. So do your homework in regardless of which industry you want to advance in that country. You should definitely analyze your market, analyze your opportunities, prepare your pitch, or the offer, and in general be very prepared, but also try to be consistent, because once you lose the trust, it's gonna be quite hard to get back on track. And third, I think, would be patience, because in our case, we had a lot of times when we were ready to let our hands down and just look maybe for another market. We were like, okay, let's be patient. Let's see where this consistency and all this hard work is gonna lead us. So I think it's very much about being very rational and clear about your plans in a few years' time in advance. But also regarding the do your homework thing, always try to be at the same pace as them. I'm talking about the innovation, the consumer preferences, and so on. So it's really just a consistent job in researching the market and trying to present the best that you can offer.
What innovation did you bring into your business or know-how from the Netherlands that helped you become also better for maybe other markets or in the local market? What was this thing that you maybe
well, in our
implemented?
case, because we started to work with the retail chains, so for them, and also because this is our kind of objective in other markets as well, we want to reach as many retail chains as possible. So one thing that was important was a certification that we got, the BRC certification. That
BRC, yeah?
BRC, yes. It's like a management, a security management kind of qualification, and this actually opened for us other doors in other markets. That's one thing. The other thing, I think it's about, in our category, in our type of business, it's the style of the wines that we actually adapted to this trend of people switching to a more healthy lifestyle and like the importance of each person's well-being. So this motivated us to make all of our wines lower in alcohol, and also they're all vegan, vegetarian, and so on. So they kind of match the preferences, but also the preferences of our target market, which is mainly millennials. Yeah.
Thank you. Konstantin, lessons learned? I think you should have plenty.
Business-wise, the most important lesson when you're opening something in the Netherlands is be prepared for the long run.
For a marathon, yeah? Not a sprint.
Because it's a tough market, it's an advanced market. So it's better to get the position of learning and a little by little and be patient. Fortunately, we are the Bruce Willis kind of agency. We are really stubborn and we are really patient. So we are looking forward to it.
Okay. So just again, patience, getting ready, and just maybe more accept the advisory part, yeah, and just do homework always and follow up. Thank you. Anatol, lessons learned. What's your advice?
Lots of them. I think financially we underestimated some costs, which was a big lesson to be learned. And even starting with...
from the investment perspective,
yes,
or
from the
product already, final product?
To accommodate the business to the scale we want, we underestimated some costs. We figured it out. I think the culture differences were quite fascinating. They say the Dutch invented almost the straight line, but they were not flexible enough. When it came to Moldova, but we had actually good fun out of it, because what helped us a lot, there was complete trust and commitment, and those cultural differences became actually a source of fun and laughter. And when you put some good cheese and Mamalig and wine together, I think it can solve a lot of problems. Flexibility.
Really? Or most of the problem?
I think, yeah, the agility and this flexibility was, I think, more on our side and less on the Dutch side, but we learned from each other. Another point that was, to our surprise, I think our Dutch partners expected a lot more resistance and bureaucracy. Maybe because we were in an area that was very friendly. I personally knew it because I was from the area, but really I can honestly testify with zero bribing, with...
you mean in Moldova, when you started the
Moldova,
business?
right. Well, we basically took over an older Soviet industrial zone and we repurposed it. And there was a lot of work. We started with the idea of building a brand new factory, and then we decided, okay, let's go another route. And the openness and the, I think, collaboration on the local authorities was, I think, surprising to our Dutch partners, and in very, with some exceptions, but overall that was, I think, underestimated also. So we enjoyed a very, I think, good case with building a business from scratch in mostly the rural area. I mentioned before what was extremely helpful to send our even factory workers, managers to Netherlands to see how it's done and get even basic things, how even a precise coffee break sharply at 10 works and what's the benefit within the day, and even enjoy a good cup of coffee when even there is a problem. But that fusion of cultures, just by sending people back and forth, that was a great lesson, and it continues to be just an empowering source for both sides.
Thank you a lot. We have some 5 minutes for summarizing. And in this respect, I would like to ask you two things in the end. Just what's your next objective on the Dutch market? And what potential do you see for other products, either from your sector, maybe something complementary, you see maybe potential for business, for yourself or for others, or maybe products from other sectors, maybe even non-food or food in different respects. Mariana, so your next objective and other potential
our
products.
Next objective, my business partners from Netherlands, it's to open here in Moldova an agro hub also, with a distribution not only for cherries but for all fruits. It's necessary.
To have a diverse portfolio of products.
Yes.
Okay.
Also a little agro hub or big agro hub who now with a sorting line, packaging line, and
so you have cherries, apricots. What other products might be interesting?
yeah, I have cherries, apricots, but in the future we might buy the fruits from Moldova.
Will be
other
table
producers.
grapes, plums, apples,
yes, sure.
whatever. Okay.
Yeah, it's our next product.
Okay, so that's the next business step.
Yeah.
Okay, good luck. We'll keep fingers crossed for you. Dina, what's your next objective? Because you already are on top. Okay, from the Moldovan exporters, but probably
you have
the
to
space.
know how to stay there.
To keep your leading position.
Yes, exactly. This is the hardest path, I think. It's harder than getting there, but definitely increase the coverage, the presence of the existing products, increase the number of selling points and shops, and as I said before, diversifying the portfolio. We would like to put our focus more also on the premium wines, representative wines that tell more about the story of our country in general as a wine country, and definitely organize more events, because this actually was something that we as a country did not do until now that much. So I think it's important for the Dutch people to be introduced to our culture, because wine is part of our culture. So definitely more events, more interactive.
More country branding.
Yes, exactly. And yeah, I think this is mainly 3 things that are the most important in the next 5 years.
If you wouldn't do the wine business, what other business would you do with Netherlands?
I think maybe something related to renewable energy, something something related to the sustainable aspects of business. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Konstantin, so about this country awareness, branding, basically passing to you. What's your objective?
Will you ask me about the second idea for business, please? I think
I will, yes.
So, our objective, my objective right now, my personal objective is building bridges, such as like I'm a new member of board of CORE, of a Creative Industry Association, and also I'm a member of Art Directors Club of Netherlands. So this is a point of contact. And I want more Dutch talents to join our industry. And in this way of thinking, on 25 of November, a Dutch director, Edwin van der Sande, is joining our lecture at ArtCore. So everyone is invited.
Bringing more know-how, yes, or even working in Moldova.
And I think the learning part is the key, because when we are building bridges in terms of creative connections and talent, the business will always find a way to come along.
Okay, thank you. The business ideas, I think you should have plenty of those. Now, because you work probably with clients from different industries, you see a lot of potential in other products, maybe services. What's your short list?
One more time, please.
What's your short list? If you don't do creative industry, what would you do? What other businesses would you do in Netherlands? Or the
If
Dutch
I wouldn't do creative solutions and design all day, I always wanted to be a race driver or a motorcycle driver, like into the
Can you
sports,
do
I
a
think.
business
Or
out
a
of that?
custom shop or a custom brand or I don't know, of something. This is something really that I really like, but it's too different from learning and be a teacher or a creative director. So maybe after 40 we'll see.
Thank you. Thank you. And Anatol?
Yeah.
What's your next objective? So big
We
plans?
have objectives. We see opportunities. By 2030, Netherlands still has to build over 900,000 homes, so there is a slice for us in that.
How big is this slice? How many will come from Moldova?
At least maybe 100 per year homes. But our goals are also here. We see opportunities in the residential market. As I said, we see a branch of our company providing engineering, architectural services to not only the Dutch market, but worldwide. We see financial instruments brought to Moldova. The mortgage industry is pretty weak, and there is cash available in the investment funds, including in the Netherlands. And based on our track record, the relationships we build, we see opportunity here to bring even related or adjacent industries, like even financial. We have an ambition, maybe over the next couple of years, to package actually our recipe of building factories and export the concept of a factory in any market in the world where there is a crisis in the housing market. And I think we've got the recipe pretty much put together with a lot of efficiency, with passion, and we will bring good energy efficiency also.
Okay, energy efficiency is one key word. We are closing this panel. I would like to express my gratitude to all you dear panelists, dear speakers, because you are people of value, and for sharing your value with us, for adding value with this information, valuable insights. Dear participants, thank you also for your time, for interest. I hope you found this discussion interesting and with value to you. Thank you, and all the best to you and your plans in Netherlands.
our guest and grow your business here with us.
Encourages people, go there, explore the unknown, and succeed. In the next panel, we will have stories, but in the other direction. I am pleased to announce the panel dedicated to Dutch business cases in Moldova. It's stories about the people who, as I said previously, planted the flag. So I have the honor to invite here to the stage Bas Strijker, Director Operational and Finance at AdCode, Gerard den Hartog, General Director at Rail Techniek van Herwijnen, it could be better, and Jim Booth, General Director at Millstream Dairy. This panel will be chaired by Lydia Scarla.
Hello and welcome everyone once again. It's a great pleasure to be chairing this panel. And I would like to start with 2 moments of gratitude, really. One is the fact that you are here and you are sharing your expertise and experience here with us. And also the second moment of gratitude is a thank you for trusting in creating or expanding business in Moldova. I would like the audience to give a round of applause as a support for our panelists today. And our panelists today, as introduced initially, are Bas Strijker, Director of Operations and Finance at AdCode. AdCode was recently rebranded from Technosoft and is an IT company offering software development, QA testing services, and capacity to customers in the Netherlands and in Germany. They're in Moldova since 2008. They're a member of the Moldova IT Park and are currently operated with a workforce of 40 highly skilled senior IT specialists. That is AdCode and Bas Strijker. Gerard den Hartog is the engineering manager at Rail Techniek van Herwijnen BV. Rail Techniek is a leader in the design, manufacturing, and installation of overhead conveyor systems. Rail Techniek systems are used in a wide range of industries from automotive, paint finishing, window and door production, and laundry industries. Here with us is Gerard van Hartog. And Jim Booth, General Director of Millstream Dairy. Millstream Dairy is a farm in Golen in Moldova, established at the initiative of Dutch farmers with extensive experience in the dairy industry. It all started with only 35 cows at the beginning, and now I believe there are more than 600, is that correct? That's brilliant. Jim Booth. Let's go to the very, very beginning and recall the moments when you just came here to Moldova. What were the key opportunities that you noticed at that time? And Gerard, I would like to start with you. I believe you first came to Moldova in 2006, but you got started in 2007.
Yes, actually we started already 2006. First time we came here was in February 2006. Very cold, as I can remember. Completely your own clothes with me, really freezing our socks off, to be say like this. We came here with a clear goal. We want to find engineers. We had that time in 2006 the same problem which now Holland has at the moment. Technical personnel is very hard to find. Also was that the case in 2006, and mainly then engineers. So we went to Moldova and we went actually directly to the source. We went to the University of Moldova, UTM. We visited a class which would graduate that year. And we were looking, okay, what are they doing here? Are they being taught the right lessons, the 3D CAD/CAM, what we need for our business? And actually we were pleasantly surprised. And very quickly after we decided to go ahead, let's start a business. A couple of months later, we went back, we did interview with the people, with the students. We selected 8, and after their graduations, they went to Holland for training, 3 months. In the meantime, we set up the office here, and when they came back in September, I think it was, everything was up and running, and we started working. This went actually very well, and we saw more opportunities. So in 2007, we decided to expand our activities with accountancy. We added some back office work, all for our group of companies. So what we are doing is called like nearshoring, self-service center. We are providing services for our group companies. So we don't have local customers or external customers. It's all within our own group.
Thank you very much. Jim, I believe that as opposed to the other two fellow panelists here, your local market is actually here. Is that correct?
Yes, our local market, actually all our milk, that's our main goal of the farm, is to produce high quality milk according Dutch standards. And yeah, the milk actually remains really into the country. So the main part of the milk remains in the capital in Chisinau.
And what are the key opportunities that you noticed before moving the business here?
We had actually already some time period before coming to Moldova. We visited first Kosovo, and that was actually exactly in the time period of the 9/11 attacks. Besides that, it was over there really small plots of land, and was hard to start up a dairy farm over there. And we saw other opportunities in Moldova. So Moldova has big plots, a lot of labor force, we thought. But the big plots was actually was leading with an accessible price to start up a business over here in Moldova.
I believe in one of our discussions you mentioned that you feel like you started the business 7 years too early?
Yes, if you see we started our business in 2011. There was at that time not really a lot of support from the government. If you see, for example, now the last 4 or 5 years, the government is highly investing with subventions to stimulate the milk production in Moldova, because of actually a lot of milk is imported in Moldova. Around 60 till 70% of the milk is imported, so that's one of the opportunities over here in Moldova for the dairy industry. But indeed, we started 7 years too early. You see now what kind of subventions there are, which we simply missed.
That's interesting. So it would be fair, I guess, to assume that the opportunities that you saw at the very beginning, they kind of transformed into bigger advantages over time, or the opportunities expanded in a way. So 7 years later, it was a better situation.
One of the things which I said is that now the subventions for starting up a dairy farm are bigger. For land and labor, I think we started in the right time, because now land starts to be harder to get. Labor is actually from the beginning, it was already a bit problematic, because there's not enough schooled labor force. So really professionals, specialists for in the dairy industry.
Are you talking about the situation that was before, or is that still the case at the moment?
That's actually, till now it's still the case like this. I know they are trying to change this. I know that they are trying to set up collaborations with other universities, high schools in Europe, in Holland, but the results are not there yet.
I see. Thank you very much. Bas, tell us about AdCode and what were the opportunities that AdCode saw at the beginning when the company expanded here?
Yeah, well, then we go back to 2008. We were searching for a nearshore location within 1 or 2 hour time zone difference from Netherlands. We worked with a partner at that time in Romania, and so we considered actually Romania, Moldova, and Ukraine. Romania obviously is the bigger country. A lot of Dutch IT companies are already there. Within EU, but higher cost. And on the other side is Ukraine. We were a little bit afraid of corruption and stability. Also, Ukraine is paying in US dollars, which is of a disadvantage for us. So in the middle was Moldova, a relatively small country, but we are a small company, and we considered that putting our brand on the market would be much easier. And basically that is what we succeeded. And now I think after 15 years, well, 80–90% of the software developers in Moldova know our name, so we succeeded, and we're happy to be here.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much. And would you say that the talent pool was ready when you came in here, or did you have to go through a lot of education of your workforce?
Basically, the workforce is there. It's growing. There is from government a lot of focus on IT. It's one of the IT park is one of the big things. Yeah, of course, we have to develop the workforce, but as said, we are relatively small. We have seniors only, so it's cherry picking, I would say. That's what we do.
Great, thank you. One of the topics that could be interesting and could maybe break some myths would be if Moldova is a safe place to do business in, and especially in the moment of some crisis, like some recent crisis. I know we had a chat before and we concluded that COVID was not a big challenge for the business here in Moldova in terms of your personal activities. But how does the war in Ukraine reflect on your business? How do your business partners in the Netherlands feel about the safety over here? Is that a threat, or is that just a circumstance that we're putting up with? And Gerard, if you could start this discussion.
Yes. Well, actually, like I think for everybody, the first couple of days and weeks were very tense, and nobody knew what will happen. When it became clear that the threat would be not so hard for Moldova, well, things actually for us went quite quickly back to business as usual. And of course, our colleagues in the Netherlands, family, friends, they ask how is going there, are you coming back, you know, what are you doing, you know. So of course those worries were there, but for the business itself, it didn't have any negatives, to be honest. I think Jim has maybe more to say about that than our business.
Yes, we actually as direct threats for as personal life we didn't really expect. We didn't really had for our business case and our business in Moldova. It has quite some impact because we are working with agricultural products. Of course, we buy a lot of wheat, corn, which is now at the moment is cheaper than normal. But on the other hand, we have as well our other crops which we sell on the market. So we have as well our sunflowers, for example, this year, which really don't have any value. We sell them actually against the production costs. So if you see such kind of market circumstances which are based because of the war in Ukraine, it has quite some impact as well. A lot of other products are imported at the moment from Ukraine in Moldova. Milk is imported. A lot of meat as well is important, which gives price pressures in the country.
Thank you. Bas?
Yeah, I would like to add here that as kind of a plan B, we incorporated the company in Iași, in Romania, across the border. We expected that several of our employees would like to emigrate to Europe, and also some customers leaving us or choosing for Iași as a destination. But both turned wrong. Only one of our employees went to Portugal, but he already had concrete plans to move, and none of the customers moved, so they're all with us. And nobody can predict the future, but I'm pretty confident here.
Okay, good to hear that on a resilience level, the Moldovan business environment is sort of trying to reassure business owners and to create a safe environment for the existing businesses and a fertile ground for upcoming businesses, hopefully. Let's talk about the potential for growth. I know that not all of you are looking for growing for the local market because you're exporting to other markets. But is there potential to scale the business here in terms of resources? Or maybe this is a good start point to expand to other territories nearby? Gerard, what's your take on this?
Yes, you're right. Like you say, our business is not on the local market. We export services. So at the moment we are not looking for growing into other markets in Moldova. We have our own products for our own company, our own services. So in that respect, for us, if we want to grow, it will be with increasing our staff. That possibilities there are. We would be able to do that, both in engineering and our accounting services. But in general, I think there is potential in Moldova. There was already some things highlighted in the previous speakers and presentations. One thing I want to add to that, what I see in our business is that, especially from Asia, the costs are going up. Not only for transport, but also for the local wages. The local economy in Asia is growing, so they're going to produce more for the local market and less for export. In that respect, I think there's opportunity for Moldova to attract those kind of businesses.
That's brilliant. Jim, what about you? Are you looking for expanding capabilities of Millstream Dairy, or also maybe to new markets to sell to?
No, we as new market is not really. There are not really many possibilities because due to the animal welfare laws over here in Moldova, the health standards over here in Moldova. But to be honest, it's not really need because, as I said earlier, that more than 50% of the milk is imported in Moldova. So there's still a 50% market left. So as well for other dairy farmers or dairy farmers which are thinking about to start up in Moldova, we don't see them really as concurrents because the market is so big and still is developing further. So there's still a lot of market left for dairy products. Before those 50% gap, which is now imported, is produced over here in Moldova, we need a lot of farms, really a lot of farms. There will be a bigger problem with how to get all those roughages, all those food for those cows. That will be a bigger problem than really the market.
Thank you. And that's what's the situation in the IT sector for you?
Well, not very different from what Gerard told, actually. Basically, we're also stable. We don't want to grow so fast. And it depends on the sales in the Netherlands, actually. So still the workforce is there here in Moldova if we should grow or want to grow to 50 people, let's say. So that's possible. As said, depends on the sales in Netherlands.
Gerard, I think you once mentioned that with costs are rising in other areas such as Asia, how can this be an opportunity for Moldova? How can Moldova use rising costs around us as an opportunity?
Well, I think you have to look to not looking for like huge production companies, for example, like companies like Foxconn who make iPhones and stuff like that. That kind of companies you will not attract to Moldova because Moldova is too small for that in resources, both in logistics and in workforce. But maybe some smaller productions. I know we were involved in a company, Black Sea, which produce electric charges stations. They are in Moldova, but they especially choose for Moldova because their production volume was too small for a Chinese producer to be involved in that. So I think that kind of business, small production, like IT services, other kind of business outsourcing, data processing. We saw that also in the presentation that the service sector is one of the biggest potentials in Moldova, and there are those kind of centers are also in Singapore and in other Asian capitals where the cost will go up, and I think those kind of business you could attract to Moldova.
Interesting. And while you have the microphone, let's talk a little bit about the key differences, as spoken in the previous panel. From your perspective, what are the key cultural or business behavior differences between Moldova and the Netherlands?
Personally, what I have encountered in our business, not so much, to be honest. Especially the younger companies, also in IT or in services, they know how the Western world or the Dutch companies work. They have a lot of them had training there. They had schools there. A lot of Moldova students studying in Holland. So they know how we work and think. And those practices they also implement in Moldova. So if you're dealing with that kind of companies, you will not feel so much difference between Dutch business culture and Moldovan business culture. If you're going to work or if you're going to make a partnership with bigger, older companies, then you can run into some hierarchy structure which you are not used to in Holland. We are very horizontal, very flat. Here you really have the steps with the boss and the manager and the supervisor and all these levels. If you, for a Dutch person, can it be difficult to maneuver to that structure to get to the right people or get answers, or it may take too long to get answers. But for, like I say, for us, we Dutch are direct. That's true. We will speak our mind. But I know also a lot of Moldovans who do that, which is, I think, is a positive thing. Not so much to add actually. Maybe Jim.
Yeah, I think that's a great skill that we can learn from Dutch people. Indeed, to be like direct, on point, stay to the topic. Yes, Jim. What about you and your experience?
Those straightforward and that can cause as well sometimes some problems, because in Moldova they're not used to it, and especially if you see, for example, at farm, at our dairy farm, we work most of it. We work with people which are not educated or almost not educated, so they're really simple workers. Which some of them they even never were in Chisinau, as an example. So to have a communication or to have a direct conversation with those persons, you sometimes need to really be attentive with this. Do not directly hurt them or directly say something which they are not prepared to, and they are not prepared to answer. So they completely closed themselves. They don't want to say anything anymore, because they didn't learn this. They stopped at the 9th class over here. They stopped their school. They went to work. They were 13, 14 years old. So what they learned in, as how we say in Holland, really the background, how to communicate with people, they don't have this. So these are things you really need to take in consideration. We have, for example, as well, small things which in the beginning I didn't thought about. Hi guys, we need to work long. We work today a little bit longer because we have to harvest. We need to plow, all kind of small things. But we forget they have they have a horse, they have a cow, they have chickens, they have their small plot of land. They need to cut a tree because they need as well wood for the winter. You need to take that in consideration. And that in the beginning I didn't do. I really thought, let's do it the Dutch way, and that's it.
Yeah, and I think in Moldova, especially in the rural areas, people put their, the life necessities a lot of time first. Like they put it as a priority of, oh, hey, but wait a second, before I do this work that I'm supposed to do, I actually need to take care of, the wood for the fire in the house that I live in. So it's an interesting, it's interesting to stay mindful of these differences, indeed. Thank you. Yes, what about in IT differences?
Basically, we're not in Mumbai or in Kuala Lumpur. We are nearshoring, so there are no huge differences, but some minor to attend. What we face is that people are not used to comment or criticize colleagues in the team or even management. And this is something that we brought in the team, and it's in recent years it's much better now. And for the rest, people are conservative. Family is important here. Means also that sometimes in the negotiations the wife is part of the negotiation. That's what we see. And we also, let's say, invite the people or the partners to the team building events we have to make it a family feeling.
What about from a business standpoint and like working with planning? One of the things that sounded very familiar in the previous panel was that in Moldova there seems to be more like short-term planning versus a long-term planning strategy that happens more often in businesses in the Netherlands. Have you noticed in your businesses something like this when you stumble upon the short-term planning being a stumble for in your overall long-term planning thinking?
Well, for us, it's we are in long-term relations with our customers, so basically it's long-term planning. We don't do any short-term projects, but yeah, planning is based on what our customers do, so we follow them. So it's difficult to answer the question here in that case.
Yes, Gerard?
Yeah, I can add to that what for us was a big benefit is that when we employed the graduate students, they went directly to Holland. They had training there, and they actually, I think almost all our employees never worked for another company before. We were the first job. So they were, maybe not nice to say, they were not spoiled. So we could mold and trade into our Dutch way of keeping and planning, follow work orders, and do how to communicate with each other. And I think that was a big advantage for us.
That's brilliant. While you have the microphone, let's look a little bit into the future. And for companies in each of your industries, what advice would you give if they expressed a desire to expand to Moldova?
Companies who want to do a similar business to us, business outsourcing, shared service center, it's actually quite easy. Of course, you have to come to Moldova. You register your company at the Chamber of Commerce, Chamber of Registration, which now the process is much more streamlined than we did it in the beginning. You can now open your company within 1 day. You find an office, you install internet connection, and you hire some people, and you're good to go. So the investments are quite low. Risks are also low, in my opinion. But if you are looking to work with a local partner to start production here, to build whole factories, yes, then you have to do your market research, your due diligence, and really get to know the partner, your people where you work with, and your local market before you make big investments. Better to start small, see how those work, and then expand.
I see. Do you think that the recent EU candidate position that Moldova has is also
absolutely
a benefit?
Yeah, because of the association agreement and free trade agreement, it's already very good possible to export to Moldova. Certain food products are not yet possible, but goods, manufactured goods, it's no problem at all. And now Moldova is a EU candidate state. The legislation in Moldova will align with the EU, which makes things only easier at the end.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much. Jim, what about you? What would be your advice to people in your industry from the Netherlands who would consider exporting their business in a way here?
To start up a business over here in dairy industry, of course, there's a lot of money involved. A lot of buildings need to construct. Cows which are not cheap. Land which needs to be bought or rented. But one of the main things what I would advise is really stick to your Dutch management and stick to your own key figures which you have in Holland. Because over here you still have those old way of thinking which was in the Soviet time. So it's and we experienced that from the past, that people think that is this not the feed for the cows of the company, but this is the feed for the cows for the whole village. But that's not true. So stick to your Dutch management, stick to your Dutch way of thinking, and keep your key figures in mind.
That's brilliant. Vas?
Well, I could talk on the IT industry, and my advice would be take your time and set up a good recruitment if you want to start here. There's also an opportunity to do a partnership. I think that several companies are open to do a partnership. There's also a tech wheel. It's sponsored by USAID and the country of Sweden. It's a startup hub for facilitating startups or new companies. And last, of course, is that happens recently a lot in IT, is just buy a company, take over. Depends if you want to enter the market fast, then it could be an option.
That's great. In the last couple of minutes that we have left here on the panel, I would want to do a quick round of what's next for your business here in Moldova, but also not only. In general, what is coming up next?
Well, for our office in Moldova, the future is good. As I told, we are part of a Dutch group. We have subsidiaries in different European countries. We are expert orientated. We now focusing on the US market, on the Canada market. We just opened a partnership in India. So all the work which coming from those countries will also end up in Moldova. We do part of the engineering, and this will give opportunities to work on not only European projects but also projects from further away, which is nice for the people who work at our office, and perhaps will mean that we have to grow in the future.
Thank you very much. Jim?
In the future, we are actually looking forward to grow quantity, to grow in quality of the milk. Besides that, we started a side business in digitalizing dairy farms. So selling the robots in Moldova for dairy farms. To start up, to have to give a bit of support to other farmers as well, to get a management according to Dutch standard. And with management, it's you have different what I spoke about key figures, to explain to those farmers what are the key figures to have a good milk production per cow.
Thank you. And Vas?
Also for us, not really big plans. Just want to grow from 40 to, let's say, 50 people. We have the office facilitated for that, and this is our plan for the upcoming future. This is our situation.
I really hope that the future realizes in the best way that you envision for your companies and your teams and your future plans. And I hope that you get all the support you need in Moldova. And I can see that a lot of brilliant things are happening across many different industries. And here as well, you're representing such different industries, and they still seem to be moving forward. I believe that the niche status a little bit of Moldova, that it's not a usual destination for landing the business into, also offers opportunities together with those challenges and with those all of the advantages that we spoke about. And I truly, truly hope that in years to come, we get to meet at a similar panel and you say how things flourished and developed and things went in the right way. And I hope that the environment, the business environment here, becomes more stable for any of your needs, and that we actually get to have even more success stories and become better together. Thank you very much for joining us here at this panel, and best of luck in all the business.
Thank you very much. I think this was very informative, and it is very nice to look also from the perspective of these people who were there first and that did it all by themselves without any business firm, without anything. They just chose Moldova on different criteria, obviously. For now, we will continue our program with a short discussion with Alan Schultz, Executive Director of the Belgian, Luxembourg, Romanian, Moldovan Chamber of Commerce, and Răzvan Copoiu, a board member of our partners, Netherlands-Romanian Chamber of Commerce. Welcome. Alan, Răzvan, welcome here. We're grateful that you made it here, I think from Bucharest, am I right?
Yes, you're right.
Good, good. First of all, please introduce yourself, introduce your associations to the broader public, please.
Okay. Hello, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Rodica, especially Rodica, for the invitation of today. Maybe people will ask, what is a Belgian doing here between Moldovan and Dutch people? But everything is possible. So my name is Alain Schots. I'm the director of the Belgian, Luxembourg, Romania, Moldova Chamber of Commerce. See, I lost my sentence. The chamber started 11 years ago as a normal business association because the Belgian ambassador at that time wanted to have a professional support for the Belgian companies in Romania. I'll give you some milestones. Myself, I became president of the association in 2014. 2017 was an important milestone because we decided to go for the accreditation to become a bilateral chamber of commerce. So we got it in 1 month, business plan, budget. So we became the Belgian-Romanian Chamber of Commerce. 2019 was an second step. We added also Luxembourg. We have the accreditation from Luxembourg, the country Luxembourg. And also we added Moldova to the name, simply because the Belgian ambassador sitting in Bucharest was also responsible for the Republic of Moldova. So that's the history of our name. Myself, I started to work professional in 2018. We are an organization with more than 200 members. And the only message that I would like to give is that because you provide a kind of service. And with the Chamber of Commerce, it's a major point of entry for companies coming to Romania and to Moldova. You need to work professional. If you don't do it in a professional way, please don't do it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Copoiu. Maybe you introduce our partners to a greater extent.
Yes, hello everybody. I will start saying about NRCC a few words because NRCC means Netherlands Romanian Commerce Chamber. This chamber contains about 150 members, mostly Dutch companies, but also Romanian companies who are doing business with Netherlands. Through the members' names, let's say I can say if you like ING or Sodamen or I don't know Philips. I am actually representing the former Philips Lighting company, who is now called Signify. Just a change of name a few years ago, and I'm a member of the board. NRCC as a main objective is actually, we are doing two things. First of all, networking and connecting all the business opportunities between the members and also opening for the members new opportunities. We are doing actually together with the other commerce chamber and also here the Belgium Luxembourg chamber, these kind of meetings together. And also the second one is to make lobby, mainly to the government level, for to represent the companies that have, let's say, interest in trying to influence in a business way, like a task force, like for energy, for sustainability, and for others, agriculture, of course, for the Dutch companies, all these policies that are and politics that are happening right now. Also, a few words about this Philips Lighting Signify. We are also founder members of the NRCC, and yes, maybe the importance of or at least the presence of the Dutch companies here in Moldavia, it's less strong as in Romania, but that's why we are here now to change that.
Thank you so much. It is very inspiring, and hopefully Moldova will also become, will have its own association where maybe it can I don't know, amalgamate somehow with Netherlands-Romanian Chamber of Commerce, but this is obviously for you and for your organization to decide. But I wanted to ask Alan, how was your experience with working with Moldova as a market specifically? Because you're covering both Romania and Moldova, and it would be very interesting to hear about this.
For the 4 years that we are active here now in Moldova, I can say that we have a lot of support, which is very, very, very important, because you need to have also local people here that can collaborate with your chamber. Otherwise, steering everything out of Bucharest is not that easy. And I think for the chamber, our chamber, it was a plus, because with all respect, Moldova is not the biggest country. We don't have that much Belgian activity, but I think what I would like to say for the future, that Moldova will play a very crucial role, especially after the situation with Ukraine. I think Moldova, it will be a hotspot, like Romania is for the moment a hotspot. Since COVID and the war in Ukraine, Romania, for example, we had a lot of Belgian companies coming back to Romania, nearshoring. Since the war started in Ukraine, the whole political class of Belgium came to Romania. Suddenly we was a hotspot. And I think Moldova needs to be prepared, and let's hope that the war in Ukraine will finish soon, to be one of the biggest partners for Ukraine. So also the Belgian companies, they are thinking to come over here to Moldova to be one of the first suppliers for Ukraine via Moldova. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Very interesting indeed. And if I may ask, also your view, Mr. Copoiu, how do you look at Moldova as a market from the perspective of the company Signify Romania?
As I said, so the investments, or at least the companies and the Dutch companies here are not so many. Yeah, I know that we have some agriculture. Yeah, you know, so for us, for the Dutch companies, agriculture it's quite one of the key points. But also we are looking on the energy part and sustainability, because now more and more programs. Okay, maybe before accession to EU, but we are very interested in this investment. Yeah. I was talking with some, let's say, Moldavians here when I came to this conference, and it was this interesting perception, because I heard, let's say, we in Moldavia is not so good, you know, but believe me, I am coming here different occasions, different business reasons since the last 15 years, and I see a clear growth in everything. I mean, infrastructure, buildings, everything. So it's sometimes about perception, because also in Romania also we are complaining that the country is not so, but actually if you look from outside, and this is my message, I see clearly a growth, and also potentially, because normally when you are low, you can only go high. So this is, of course there is political context, and this can be a bit of break from some time, but at least for the potential, it's clearly a way forward. And I will say that that's why also we are here, and very pleased that we have now a new ambassador here. And this is, I think, also like a statement, and we are happy as a company Signify, but also as an RCC member, that we are growing, let's say, the opportunities of making more collaboration between Dutch and Moldavian companies.
Yeah, I think that the Moldovan authorities refer to it like crossing the Prut for foreign companies to come to Moldova. But I wanted to ask you one last question. How do you think, and both of you, how do you think this status of candidate country to EU accession changed the perception of foreign investors, businessmen about Moldova? Did it change at all, or were they somehow, are they still in this gray area?
I think the change is very clear. Like Razvan said, we have now a Dutch embassy here in Moldova. Also, Belgium will have an embassy. It will be November, December. The Belgian ambassador will come here. So I think the perception in the West about the country Moldova changed. And I think it changed only in the positive way. And we, as a chamber of, both Chamber of Commerce, we will help to develop these relations between Belgium, the Netherlands, and Moldova.
Thank you, Mr. Razvan.
I will just try to fill in because I think that it's a clear statement and it's both valid for both of the, let's say, commerce chambers from our side. But again, I'm looking also at what's happening today. So many people coming, showing that there is a business development, business opportunity. So IT, I sold of IT. So it's clearly that, I mean, you should be aware that we are, and we meaning all the foreign investors, we are looking with very, let's say, positive view to the Moldova. Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe just another question, because of course you've been in Romania active for so long, both of you. Can you see any similarities? Of course, Romania is bigger, has a bigger market, very rich in natural resources, but can you see some affinities between Romania when it started to look towards the EU and the Republic of Moldova now?
I will start first because I'm Romanian, so maybe I can have maybe a view, and maybe also for a foreign view it will be interesting. But look, I only see that between Romania and Moldova is just a matter of time perspective. Yeah, so I think it's the same direction. However, as for instance, we compare with Poland, because Poland is a bit like 5 years ahead of us, I think it's similar with here. Yeah, so Moldova is going on the right way. There is a delay, but I don't see too many, let's say, differences. Of course, yeah, it's about, again, political, it's very important, but as a trajectory, it's very similar. Yeah.
There is one point similar, is the language. This is the most important, and that you need to use for your access to NATO and European Union.
No, that's very interesting to hear. Thank you, first of all, for your intervention. Maybe there's some final message that you want to send to the participants, because we are happy to have here, of course, because of your contribution, representatives of the Netherlands-Romania Chamber of Commerce. We also have companies that came all the way from the Netherlands, but we also have Moldovan participants, Moldovan business associations. Maybe there's a specific message that you would want to translate?
No, what I would like to say is, after the Prime Minister, of course, there is a network session. You will find us there.
And from my behalf, I'm sure that this is only just the beginning of this kind of events, because we will try to do together, let's say, a lot of other events, forums that will bring us more and more opportunities together. Yeah, thank you.
No, yes, I wanted to reiterate this, that this business forum is indeed the first such attempt of the Dutch Embassy together with its wonderful partners to establish a bridge between the Netherlands and the Republic of Moldova, which we say at the Embassy, even though we're very far from each other, we're small, but we're united. We've been consolidating our cooperation along many domains in the last couple of years, especially after Moldova got on this EU approximation agenda, and we will continue to do so in the time to come. It is really a pleasure to have you all here. Please, once again, accept our invitation to contact the Dutch Embassy in the Republic of Moldova for any sort of questions that you have. Please also, we will refer to you to our partners. We will refer to you to the relevant business associations in case your questions are of a more technical character and we cannot answer you. We will refer to you to the competent state authorities, because what we see now in Moldova, there is a lot of political appetite, but you will still have the chance to discover that in the following sessions. You will also have the opportunity to speak to your peers, to relevant businesses active in the area that you are already operating, but also to business associations, which can be a very, very, very good entry point, as you both mentioned, into a new market. They can offer you with the necessary expertise. They can offer you with this situated knowledge that we call it, that might be hard to discover on your own. But for now, according to the program, we will soon have the Prime Minister of the Republic of Moldova here. After that, I wanted to introduce you to some technical details. We will have a lunch together because the weather is just so beautiful. We decided to organize it outside, so hopefully this will also be a great opportunity for you to interact between yourselves. But at this point, we have this more plenary / official part of the event ended, and then we will proceed to our G2B panel, where we'll have where you will offer the possibility to speak to government officials, you'll have the possibility to ask questions, you will have the possibility to receive answers to those questions, and to confirm this political appetite argument that I just put forth. But for now, I want to thank you so much for your contribution, and yeah, let us have a wonderful event in the days to come.
Moldova, the country where we grow, live, and do our best. A small country, maybe, but with big achievements.
We believe that the country has the potential to live up to the requirements.
2, 1, boost ignition, and liftoff. We go to Moldova.
Fast development. Great wines. And big chances to become better.
Millions of Ukrainians have fled the war and sought refuge in nations to the west,
crossing the border to safety.
A small country, a big heart. Moldova's most important resource is people. We are committed to make our country a better place for all of us. We have to continue working with dedication, because great countries are founded by great people. A small country, a big heart.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we proceed to the next part of our program, and I will use this opportunity to invite our ambassador to invite the Prime Minister of the Republic of Moldova, please.
Thank you, Valerian, dear audience. Dear Prime Minister, thank you so much for being with us. It's a real pleasure to introduce you here. It's an honor. I think our relations between Moldova and the Netherlands are really on the up. Having opened the embassy, having had high visits here, having had Maya Sandu, your president, in the Netherlands, this is a first for us. We are on a journey, as I say, step by step. We've had really interesting testimonials, very interesting stories about what works in the business field in the Netherlands and in Moldova. And so we're proud and honored to have you here today. So I'm really glad to pass on the microphone to you to say a few words to us today. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency, and thank you, dear business community.
Everyone knows by now that the focus of the government is twofold. The first is the justice reform, fighting corruption, and second is economic development. Fighting corruption, justice reform, this is the fundamental reforms that ensures sustainability throughout. And by the way, Ambassador, thank you very much for the assistance of Netherlands in this effort of justice reform and anti-corruption effort. Property rights, law enforcement, this is critical for sustainability of the business so that business feels comfortable here. I know that we are right next to the war, but Moldova is a peaceful country thanks to Ukraine, and here I would like to thank the brave people of Ukraine for fighting this unjust war of Russia against them. But thanks to them, we have peace and stability here, so we can prosper and we can develop businesses. The government has a very aggressive in positive terms agenda of debureaucratization, and this works twofold. First, this is facilitating business. Second, this is eliminating opportunities for corruption. This also brings more transparency. This also brings more information on the market that can be used by the business community. I think those that are already in Moldova know about the two development platforms that we have. The first is the so-called free economic zone platform, where you can deploy your production facility, and the second is the IT platform, this flat tax business platform where you can increase and prosper in the IT sector. What is very important as well is the fact that Moldova is on its way to more and more integration into European Union, including on the European market. So it means that Moldova can produce products and services for the whole EU market. On top of that, we have concluded this summer a free trade agreement with EFTA countries. I think all of these are creating opportunities for the business to develop. Because we are speaking to about Netherlands and Moldova, I cannot not invite you to invest more in our industrialization of the agriculture, and here are great opportunities. Also, renewable energy, but also infrastructure projects. Moldova will continue to invest into infrastructure and energy transition and climate adaptation. I think these are great opportunities for investment. On our side, here I see representatives, beloved representatives of business community, and we have a very good communication. And whenever the government senses a problem, a constraint, or an opportunity, then we work together to tackle those problems or to open the opportunity. Already these mechanisms are established through the business associations, and correspondingly we are very agile in addressing all these problems and opportunities. Ambassadors, again, thank you very much for the contribution at the political level to encourage business community from Netherlands to do business in Moldova. And us, on our side, we encourage businesses in Moldova to look beyond, the country border or the regional border. Thank you.
Thank you again, Prime Minister, and also I think I'll take this opportunity to congratulate you really on the hard work that your government is doing, and I congratulate you personally also for your involvement in promoting business ties, not only with the Netherlands but with all companies around the world. So really well done. Thank you so much for your kind words. I know you have a busy schedule, but you are welcome for the lunch.
Thank you.
So now Now with the permission of His Excellency Prime Minister, we invite the Dutch delegates and the foreign delegates to take a family picture at the photo wall in the corridor.